Call the meeting to order, Griggs County Commission at 1 p.m. on September 4th. Stand up, pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call. John,
Here.
Dale,
Here.
Ron,
Here.
Sean,
Here.
Charles here, everybody's here. Approval of the agenda.
The only thing that got revised since I sent it to you last night was Harold was not able to attend the meeting. He didn't have the audit fully done, so he'll be here at the next meeting.
Okay. Did you put that generator on here?
I thought just under Old Courthouse and Courthouse.
Oh.
Is that fair?
Yeah, we can do that. Same thing with Ron with your invoice?
Yeah, or when we come up with bills, or you want,
Oh, okay, we can consider that
I
then.
think we can just add it to the bills.
Okay. Anything else?
There was just two things I guess that I got in the mail this morning that maybe Wayne could speak about. I don't know if you want to review that before you accept that they be talked about.
Well, we can talk about this at the next meeting. This isn't gonna happen until the end of October. Okay. Then Wayne he probably got the same thing today, so. Anything else on the agenda? Motion to approve.
I'm going to approve the agenda.
Been moved by Sean to approve the agenda. Is there a second to the motion? Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, let's look at the August 21st minutes.
Oh, never mind.
Are you in these minutes?
What?
Are you in these minutes, the 21st?
Isn't it now?
Do you have them open or whatever?
Oh, I can.
I just wonder where it says there was a report on the chip seal project and the Tom Gilbertson project, if it shouldn't have been like the Gilbertson and Sons graveling project or something,
Or actually the name of the project.
or the name of the project.
Okay, so instead of chip seal project, do you want that name, the road that they're chip sealing?
Project number or something,
Yeah.
probably?
There's a project number for both of those.
Okay,
We should use the project numbers.
okay,
I can't tell you what they are off the top of my
And
head.
so the chip seal project was SC
SC.
dash 2000 015. The 015 is in parentheses.
Okay,
And then the grabbing projects.
is that the Tom Gilbertson?
Yes.
The grabbing projects are the Tom Gilbertson
Okay.
projects, yeah. CNOA,
Say that again.
CNOA,
Okay,
dash 2026
okay,
056.
okay.
And then the other one is the exact same, except it's 057. So an 056 and 057 are also in parentheses.
I'd move to approve the August 21st minutes as amended and dispense with the reading.
Been moved by Sean to approve the August 21st Commissioners minutes as amended. Is there a second to that motion?
Second?
Seconded by Ron. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Now let's move on to the August 26th minutes.
I move to approve the August 26th minutes as presented and dispense with the reading.
Been moved by Ron to accept the minutes from the August 26th meeting and dispense with the reading. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. August 28th.
last line should maybe say motion by Stefan instead of by Sean.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
And I make a motion to accept August 28th minutes as amended and dispense with the reading.
Been moved by Dale, or Sean, Stefan, to approve the August 28th meetings and dispense with the readings, or second.
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, September 3rd.
I'll move to accept the September 3rd meeting minutes as presented and dispense with the reading.
Been moved by Ron to accept the meeting minutes from September 3rd and dispense with the reading. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we'll move on to the bills.
Okay, there, in your packet, on page 9, we got this superintendent of schools dues that is past due. Would you guys like to pay that or no?
Is it mandatory?
I don't think so. We don't have it in.
What do they do? Have we had any contact at all with that organization ever?
I went to their conference last year. But other than that, I know that we did pay it last year. We didn't. I mean, I got this and kind of just let it go.
Kinda gotta get something out of it.
Well, yeah, since they live Ernst Ottenby as the school superintendent,
Yeah.
they must be a little behind what we're doing.
Mhm. So I don't have it in your sheets or anything because
I don't think we should.
It was in the email.
Yep.
See a benefit
And we also got the concrete bill. Ron got it as he was walking up. May we add this to the bills? I'll just have Lori do up a voucher before she writes the checks, take it out of the EOC like all the others have been taken out of.
Have you guys seen this bill?
No.
Concrete work for the courthouse, work complete. It should say EOC though, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it should. It should say EOC instead of courthouse.
Oh,
So I think we could probably scratch that out and write EOC up here.
The bill is 48,000. I think that's what the bid was.
If we get the check written right away, then we can apply for reimbursement.
Yeah, the sooner the better.
Yeah, September 30th. It's coming faster every day, it seems like. So I'd like to see that. I don't know if you need to roll.
What's left inside? Nothing? Hang that door?
and the work has to be completed by the 30th of this month, and all bills turned in by the 15th of the following month.
So I guess it's that time.
Well, I mean, we still do it now, and
Yeah.
we want more than one shot at it. So I make a motion, we add the bill for the concrete to the agenda.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded to add the bill for the concrete at the EOC Center to be considered in the monthly vouchers and bills. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
It's 48,000 even.
Yep.
Can I see the card member services bill?
Yeah, it'd be the same amount.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very coincidental.
That's coincidence, I don't know which part of the card should be paying the lottery up there.
Griggs on some dark 2 bolts and the bolt that were the exact same bushels down to the 10th. Try and do that again. It's better when I got tired of shuffling and quit.
We're counting.
Huh?
Counting the shovels.
I don't think so.
Coincidental?
That's good.
Any questions on the bills for Samantha? Did you move to approve?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
Been moved by John to approve the bills. Is there a second to the motion?
I'd second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. Monthly office, or do you guys want to discuss this superintendent or the school board association? Oh, this is just an associate's news.
Yeah. Membership, non-voting.
Yeah. Move on.
I will get the board as a council check.
Yeah, when they send us the articles of their constitution authorizing us to join as a non-member, I think that's kind of disregarded.
Sounds like it's enticing.
Monthly office reports. ahead.
On page 15. And 16 is just a total, but when we're going over the budget, we're wondering what that permits is about. I think this is where it pertains to, is in our account.
I think it's fair.
So that's for an overload permit?
I think any permits, I think we're all.
Oversized,
Oh, this is for lowering and tunneling. And that's not administered by the auditor?
Do you administer it, Wade, or is?
I used to, but then the sheriff's department took over the,
Okay.
and they got Mickey, they wanted some more work for us. But he's fine with it.
Yeah.
When they were doing all the, wind power and all that stuff.
You remember how to do it then?
No.
Could you learn?
No, we didn't know what it
Basically
was.
a form.
And then it goes to the state, is that right?
The money comes to Griggs County,
Oh,
and there used to be a fund that went into it, but it's still.
yeah, there's still the permits fine. Okay. All right.
That's where it was deposited.
I thought a portion of it went to the state and then it came back from the state to us.
I wonder if they have ones that go all the way
Somebody just pick
through,
up for an overload or whatever, that goes to the state.
Okay.
and then a portion comes back to the county,
I
doesn't
don't
it?
know if it comes back or not. It's like a speeding ticket or whatever, does that come back to North Dakota, I mean to Griggs County, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I don't know either.
A lot of that stuff just goes to the state. That's why some of these counties have gotten their own weight enforcement people and stuff, that way the money all goes, in fact, it pays the salary a lot of times for those. It's like 3 counties and we'll have one guy that does all their
Waiting.
stuff, weighing stuff, enforcement. Learn some more discussion.
I move to approve the monthly office reports as presented.
Been moved by Sean to approve the monthly office reports as presented. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Seconded by Ron. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay.
Four.
Everybody else.
Good job.
It's fair.
Sir?
Wayne?
Yes, sir. I don't know if you want to follow the way it's written up in here, if you want to do it. Okay. We talked about, it's been just about a month ago, we talked about getting a retriever to do our shoulders, etc. And so I asked for a quote on Tom Gilbertson, Titan Machinery, and REO. And I didn't receive one from Tom. I talked to him yesterday again. I'm trying to get one in here today, but evidently didn't. So, Titan, this is a diamond all-American disc. It has the 3-point mount or the greater mount, which is mounted on the moldboard. And that shows a picture of it on this second page there, page 20. Shows a picture of the moldboard mounted one. It's maybe a little cumbersome, and if you're just going to do disking, to do any blading and stuff, if you turn the moldboard at a certain angle, then it lifts up the retriever off the shoulder. RDO, see that bid was $6,390, and it didn't matter if you had the 3-point mount for a tractor or the blade mount for the grader. RDO equipment and a retriever brand 3-point hitch receiver their bid was $11,450. And we also had the moldboard mount one, which would be like the diamond one on the first page there. Their bid for that is $7,480, and that's over $1,000 less. I mean more than the $6,390 for Titan.
It's the exact same machine.
Same thing. 7,480 for the RDO bid. Then RDO also has 3-point retriever that mounts on the Balderson style hitch. So where we have our push blades on the front and the rake and whatever, you take that off and you put the retriever on that front hitch. And then you're still able to use your moldboard. Nope, that's wrong. Let's see. Where am I?
It's PK construction, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's see. 17.5. Yeah.
This is PK construction, isn't
That's
it?
the one I described. That's 17.5. That's the Balderson quick hitch retriever.
Tom and Katie. Sales.
TK sales.
No, I was just wondering who this check should be written out to for the concrete.
Oh, that. Oh, excuse me.
Sorry.
What's the bid? What's the name of the bid?
On the bid,
On the contract.
On the contract.
It says P&K construction.
yeah, and then on the bill it says the Paul.
It'll have to match the bid.
Okay.
Sorry about that one. Yep, that's okay. I think it's a TK on it.
So that's 17,750. I know one of my operators thought that would be the way to go. The map was thought that would be the way to go. We're always going to have maintainers. I don't know if we're always going to have tractor.
But thinking about the moldboard mounted ones, I mean, these things try to push the vehicle around that's pushing them or pulling them. If it was mounted in the middle of that thing, wouldn't that stabilize the whole process more?
It might help.
Can they bring them? Can you guys try them out?
I don't know if they have a demonstration model.
Or go to another
Or
county?
see somebody else operate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a crapshoot if you don't get to use one, kind of, isn't it? What
I mean,
kind
you've
of?
seen what the like Tom Dolls is got. Tyrell's got one. They just got one on the back of the tractor, 3.1.
I know, but it's pretty tough duty
I know. Yeah.
because you're
The
sitting
thing
there
is about a tractor, you're going to be sitting there looking back.
all day long. I know when Tom gets done doing that, he's beat.
That's where the thing with the one in the front, it's up there. You still don't have to be looking down like that, and you've got your moldboard available if you're just going to do some blading.
Would there be enough weight in the front of the Griggs to keep it from
Blade is
pushing
pushing
over?
over. They've got them. I mean, they're using
Right.
it, I guess. So I don't know if I could find out if somebody around has that. The thing is with these bids, like Titan says 30 days
Right.
for the quote. See, that's
What's-
just every
What kind of one does Tom have?
Tom has a diamond disc, diamond retriever, same as Titan's.
It's front mount?
Moldboard?
He's got the,
Moldboard.
I think it's on the tractor. I think, isn't it?
Oh,
Tom.
Gilbertson.
Oh, I don't know what they have.
Yeah. It's on the tractor.
But his isn't the same as Washburn Township's, I don't think. He has more blades. His blades are
Yeah, the
closer.
thing about the diamond disc is they're closer together. Where some of the first ones have wider spacing, so then your
gets a lot of.
ribbons are a lot bigger.
Well, it
If you
throws
got
out
them
bigger
sliced up
chunks, so
and
it's
stuff.
harder to get rid of them.
Right. That's the good thing about the retriever, or the diamond disc.
What do you think?
Well, cheaper, if you're going cheap, would be the tractor one, but like you say, are we gonna have a tractor? I mean, this is kind of a 5-year lease, I think. favorable, it has continued after Cooper Implement is, closed. The actual lease is with John Deere, yeah. So it should be a continued program for at least 5 years.
I'm already getting mail from the neighbors, Leading Edge and True North. But I was just thinking, like on the moldboard one, and I don't know how on handy there to have on hanging on that moldboard, but you could
Kind of unhandy.
you could get 3 of those for the price of one of those other ones, and then you could get some work done. If you only have one of them, you're not going to get over all the roads every year. Not that you need to do it every year.
Not that you need to, you don't have to every year.
Why don't you see if you can go and try it out somewhere in the counties, just take a trip and take one of the operators and see if we can try it 2 times a month, or ask or call one of the counties and see what they think.
The dealer should be able to steer you to who's got them.
Who's that?
I say the dealer should be able to steer you to who they've sold them to, so.
And when we talked about it, it was for, I think, next year's budget.
Right.
So we can just have these rebid or requoted again. Still, we should do it probably before the end of the year.
Tom he's a dealer?
He's maybe he's a sub-dealer or whatever. So I called him yesterday. He was just had left town. He was going somewhere. He said he'd try to get back and email or fax or something.
Maybe we should wait and get a bid from him.
Maybe
He can get all 3 of them too.
we can try to get them all 3 to 4.
Yeah.
I mean, he has access. He can get all 3 of them.
I don't know if he can. He just has the diamond.
Okay.
So,
And they
the
make
hitch would be. The thing about Titans is they gave the same price for the 3-point pump or the Griggs
Right.
RDO for the 3 points, 11,000 for 50.
Did Titan give you a bid on the front mount one?
I don't know if they can. I don't know if that has that diamond.
Well, they're bidding
They have the
that.
diamond.
Huh?
RDO has the diamond and the retriever.
Oh, Diamond might not make a front mount?
It might not. You might, with that front mount, there is a hydraulic cylinder on it that lifts. You lift the front hitch up and down, but then you lift there's a hydraulic cylinder to change the angle of the blades of the retriever itself. So we can table that if you would wish to just table that. I tried looking it up, and I could only get retriever brand or the except on YouTube you can get them. There you go. YouTube, you can get the different. So we can just table that for now and move on if we want.
Yeah, I think
Wait
so.
for
See if Tom comes in.
if Gilbertson Construction can get it in there too. So. And maybe look at someone else's retriever. Next in the packet is the federal aid program letter. It goes to your county's federal aid program sheet that shows the amount of money in your federal aid account for 2016 and your scheduled projects for 2016 and beyond. The program sheets only show projects that will use federal funds. And of course, the only thing that we have is that bridge that is 8 miles north and 1 mile east of Cooperstown. Thanks for watching videos. That's okay.
I heard you.
Okay,
8 miles north, 1 mile east.
correct. That's that bridge, the old overhead truss bridge. That County Road 6, Deckers, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to meet with them or someone on October.
October 27th, 25th.
Well, it says, we haven't gotten a letter yet stating the date or the time. 25th to the 27th is the
Conference.
Association of County Conference.
Your meeting time is in that letter.
Okay. What is the meeting time?
Meeting time, October 25th to the 27th.
Oh, that's a pretty wide window.
Yeah.
It'll give us a specific time.
Is our meeting,
No, sorry, Tuesday, October 27th. Big huge print. At 1:20 p.m.
Mm.
Okay.
Biggest print.
And maybe at this time we should talk about the project that we do have scheduled for this year that they're holding off on. I don't know if I sent this around, I don't know if everybody got it.
The chip seal.
Yeah, the chip seal.
Yeah.
Jake has been trying to be in contact with them and the state highway department. And let Jake talk about what he has learned I guess, on that.
well, I talked to DOT about it right away, and it sounds like they did get the same letter for projects in the Grand Forks district, and a few of the other counties around here got them too. So Ed, the assistant district engineer, was going to Bismarck, I think a week and a half ago, to talk to construction services about it, about what we should do. He emailed me last Friday and said, request an updated schedule from them, see when they could get here, if they can get here this fall yet. So I did that last Friday, right when I got the email, and I hadn't heard anything back from them. So this morning I drafted up another email. I sent it to Ed. Basically, the way, just talking to the other people in the office, a couple options we came up with were, one, we can have, well, I guess, let's give a little background on this. I don't know if everyone read that letter or not. According to the DOT specs, a seal coat project cannot be started after September 1st because temps start dropping and they're not really sure what will happen if they apply the oil and chips and the next day, if it's the high is 50. But anyways, in this case, the contractor's kind of using that against us, saying we couldn't get there before September 1st, and your specs say we can't start the project. I think they're misreading the specs a little bit, in that the specs actually give us the power to say, you need to come do the project this year. We're still going to hold you to the road temp spec, which if the road temp is 70 degrees, if that pavement's 70 degrees, that's when you let them start sealing. But anyway, so tell them that and say, if that seal coat doesn't last through the winter, you need to come back next spring and redo it at your expense. That's how I'm reading this spec.
What did our contract with them say? When was this? What was the date?
It's supposed to be done on August 28th.
Okay, so then what does the September 1st date even add?
That, it's in the DOT spec book, it just says seal coats may not be started.
But if
After.
we're supposed to be done by the 28th of
Well,
October or
they sh-
August?
August, they should have had it done before that.
Then it
Exactly.
shouldn't make any difference. Then they're in violation of the contract.
Yes.
They can't use, we scheduled it so that we were within this DOT specs, they just didn't get it done. They can't now say that we
It's our
can't do it
fault.
because it's after September 1st when we already missed it August 28th deadline.
Exactly, that's how I feel too.
And the signs have been up for what, 3-4 weeks?
And besides that, I'm sure the contract spelled out the DOT specs.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, it's cut and dry, they're in violation of the
Just a
contract and they have to be held accountable for it.
So basically, the two options that I kind of came up with was yes, we make them do the project, but basically warranty it until, for the whole summer. And if anything, I guess this winter and then next summer, if anything unravels, if there's any damage to it, they need to come back and fix it. But also, we will be charging liquidated damages starting on August 29th, the day after our completion date, and charge them until the project's completed this fall. And also start those up again if they gotta come back next summer and fix it. So that's one option. The other option would be, that we kind of came up with was, if they cannot get to the project this fall, let's say the temps just don't come back up and they can't do it, then we'll charge them liquidated damages up to November 15th, which is kind of the spec book. It's a little gray there, but they kind of say, that's typically when all the construction projects should be done because of freeze up. So anyways, we charge them to November 15th and then start those liquidated damages again next spring, summer, either starting June 1st, because at that point we should have temps, or when Aztec starts, which if it's earlier. So let's say Aztec's able to get there May 15th, then we start them on the day they get back in here to complete the project. If we do that, liquidated damages will pile up to right under $90,000. 90, which is a pretty good stab, I would say. So anyways, that's kind of what I had come up with. Like I said, I emailed that to DOT, because the thing is, we can do whatever we want. I shouldn't say we can do whatever we want, but we do have the jurisdiction, obviously, here in Griggs County. You guys can make the decision on what we want to do. But we did want to run it by the district, since they are dealing with the same situation. And he's expressed to me that they would like everyone to do the same thing. But he did say if you guys decide that you really want that project done this year, do whatever you need. So
I believe the chance of collecting damage if they do the project wrong, and to get the project corrected so it was the way it was supposed to be done, is non-existent. Those companies, they just won't do that. They'll fight and fight and fight, and we'll have to sue them. If the contract said August 28th, and they haven't started it, then they don't get to start it until the DOT specs say they can start again next spring, and then liquidated damages to whatever date. That's the way it is. We can't. What's the use of signing a contract if we're held to one side of it and we don't hold the contractors to the other side of it? But that's just my opinion on it. But you know what'll happen if it doesn't turn out right. Then they'll argue about the specs on it, and they'll get a different testing firm, and it.
one thing I figured, if they did say, you know what, we'll get in there and do it next week, that we would have them sign a letter stating if there's any, obviously this is just rough, but if there's any problems with the project, if any of those chips peel off, we will come back and fix it. Because worst case scenario, if we get into a court battle, I think if we have their signature saying, yes, we will do this, I think we should be safe. We've done that in other projects with warranties, and we've had contractors come back and do work the following year. Actually, it happened this year in one of my projects. And they couldn't do anything. They did the work, they ate the cost, and that was it. But I'm just saying what's happened on other projects. But this is the first time I've ever had a contractor say they're just not going to do a project like that. But I know this has happened in the past.
Date, isn't it, to just cut it off? Because a lot of times we have 80, 90-degree days like right now.
And see, that's why I think when the DOT put that in there, they intended it to save our ass if that project falls apart. You know, because, you know, at night, the temps get down to 60 or even 40 a few weeks ago. Whereas in the summer, they typically stay up a little warmer, but
75 this morning when I got up.
Yeah, forecasting 44 for Monday morning.
Are they?
so, I don't know.
One thing
Seems to
about-
me we either tell them they're coming back in the spring, or we give them both options, and if it's warm enough when they come back, they can do it, and if it's not, they can't.
Yeah, but if they come back and it's not warm enough and there's a problem, there's little chance that you'll ever have the project done the way it's supposed to be done.
They'll rush it,
They'll
just do it,
it'll-
and they'll be gone.
They'll, yeah. And it's quite possible the reason they're not going to have all these jobs canceled right now is because they're experiencing some kind of financial difficulties. You don't know. All you know is we have a contract and they're in violation of the contract.
Their letter doesn't even sound like they want to even do it this
You're
year.
right.
No, they
Says
don't.
we were asking to be allowed to complete
They
the
got so many
project in
projects that they
2016.
lined up.
Yeah, they
They-
overbid
They
themselves.
lined up too
and-
many projects that, and I don't know if the weather up there where they're working bothered them or whatever they got behind. And well, the first notice he got was he said they couldn't get the trucking company or whatever to haul the chips.
Yeah, that was a week before the completion. Well, we talked about that at the last commission meeting. They are coming into North Dakota next week to do a couple projects up north. Because Grand Forks County decided, no, we want you guys to come, no matter what. So they are going to be here. But what are temps going to do 2 weeks from now? Maybe they'll be warm. And if they come back to work, obviously we will be inspecting it. And this, even in the summer, that sometimes there's days where that road temp is not 70 degrees in the morning, and we don't let them start till the road temp is 70 degrees. But the question is then at night, will all the oil have cured out before it does get colder? But also, typically that oil, it breaks within seconds of being shot. So,
Actually, I would just suggest we send them a letter telling them they're in
Violation.
violation and start charging liquidated damages and put the ball in their court.
Do we need a letter from the state's attorney to say that?
Shouldn't, I mean, the contract, we're just enforcing the provisions of the contract, correct? I mean, I haven't read the contract, but I assume all this is written in the contract.
completion day was August 28th.
Right. And the liquidated damages are in the contract.
Yep, they'll be charged, yeah.
There's the signature.
They know the rules as well.
They know the rules.
Is it the county that's
Yep.
getting hurt, or is it the engineering? I mean, that's what I'm saying, the letter should come from Griggs County.
Well, it's Griggs County, yeah. Well, we'll have to draft a letter saying that you're in violation, but who administers the contracts for us? The engineering firm. So the engineering firm would send the letter on our behalf, at our instruction, I would think.
You guys can let me know what you want.
I mean, you administer, if there's liquidated damages, they go through, you and the people that enforce that, you enforce the contract.
In this case, since it's federal aid job, they go through the DOT because they handle all the money. But yes, yeah, but we do say how many days to charge on the estimates. So, yeah.
So that'd be my suggestion, just treat it as the contract says, in violation, leave the ball in their court, what's there gonna be a remedy for it?
There's no problem with the funding then either. If it's done in 2016, it still will apply.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree.
I'd make a motion then to instruct KLJ to send a letter saying they're in default and go down the lines, see what comes of it. Now, nothing offered from our side, just they're in default, and what are you gonna do? Having been on the other side of this issue a couple of times, I know what it is.
Motion by John to have KLJ send a letter to the contractor stating they're in breach and liquidated damages will be started on the completion date of the project. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Sean? Try to vote aye. Motion carries. Okay?
One question I have, in that letter, do you guys want me to specify an end date for this fall for liquidated damages?
No, that one.
Oh, November 15th, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let
The chips fall where they may.
let them want to do that.
So basically just say the project, we're in breach of the project contract and liquidated damages.
Well, in the
are
contract, does it say that the liquidated damages will cease on November 15th and start up again in the spring?
No. Well, I mean, that's where the gray, we reference the DOT specs. There's gray area in there. I wish they would clean it up, but I think for now we can just say, yeah, they're in breach of the contract and liquidated damages are being charged, like you're saying, John, and
Yeah.
see what they have to say.
And if the spec is in there, we'll follow the spec. You don't need to restate the thing.
It should be spelled out in the contract.
If they come back, if they come back to me right away and say, okay, we'll be there next week, what do you want me to say? How would you like to proceed?
How would you get the specs says you can't? We can't do it after September 1st. They reference that in their letter. How can they say they don't want to do it because they can't do it after September 1st and come back and say, yeah, we do want to do it?
Okay, so then the intent is to charge them until
Until spring.
spring.
The intent is to follow the letter of the contract is signed. And the only people who get to interpret that is us and them. And then if there's a court involved in it, then they'll have to figure it out. But we can't be making changes to a contract or implied intent. What would be the purpose of it?
Well, let's say like last year when we had that chip seal done. And of course, we were gonna go by the Wisconsin oil samples. DOT says, oh, we don't do that anymore.
Okay.
They're kind of wishy-washy in some of their.
I mean, they're not going to come back and say we want to do it after September 1st when they already say we understand the North Dakota DOT will not allow chip seal projects to be started after August 31st. So it would be contradictory to what they're trying to get out of this.
But I think they would say that if we say, if they're figuring we're going to charge them liquidated damages through the winter. I just want to make sure I'm responding the way the county wants me to, and they're obviously gonna want to come in and do it.
Then they'll have to come and explain to us how they can do it safely and get a contract mod to do that.
And I guess just so you guys know too, no project has ever charged liquidated damages through the winter. I'm not saying we can't do it. I'm just saying I want you guys to know that.
We're not trying to make money in liquidated damages, but it's up to them to tell us why they don't have to pay that. It's not up to us to say they have to. The contract already says they have to.
Where we start and where we end up might not be the same place.
Yeah.
So you start out following the contract and you can always negotiate back from that. But if you start out not asking for anything, you're not going to get to go the other direction.
It's called negotiating with yourself.
Yeah, and that's why
it's not recommended.
They want to stop liquidated damages right away.
Right.
Yeah.
The answer to that is no.
Can you email us the contract?
Well, we got the DOT specifications, which is 700 pages.
No.
And also, the federal aid contract, the proposal itself, you guys should have a copy of that already.
No, just the part pertaining. I just want to see the cover page where it says the start and end date. And we already know, they've already acknowledged that the October 31st date is the cutoff for it. So that's all.
Okay, I can look for that sheet in the proposal.
Okay. Got my email Huh?
Got your wish list.
Yep, got the wish list here. Federal 2103 funds reviewed on CMSA. Okay, and I guess I'm recommending that we go forward with 1B, number 4, splitting out the box culvert or the metal pipes and the gravel project. So there'd be 2 separate bid items on that. And so that we can maybe get them bid this fall yet. And also number 2, which that chart on the other page shows the option numbers.
Yep.
And the option number 5. Reason we didn't combine, or I didn't combine any more projects, because a lot of them are pretty large projects just on their own. You get a $560,000 gravel project, $230,000 bad, but and then we'll just go forward with the other ones after the first of the year, probably start getting those projects written up, and we have until 2017, I think through 2017 to complete all the projects. And it shows state-funded projects on the chart there, shows funding available. And on my sheet there, it also shows where how it's expended. And there may be some leftover, depends upon how good, maybe we can't do all this if the bids are all coming in a lot higher than the first gravel bids and all that.
But it's pretty good. You left the remaining funds in the first project, they can carry over to the second one, so in case there is, that's very good.
So maybe we should have a motion to go forward with 1B, number 4, option 4, option 2, and option 5. We start planning the projects
For 2016, correct?
2016. The option 1B.
Go ahead.
1B, number 4, number 2, and number 5. Did you get one of these?
Yep.
I'll make the motion that we proceed with options 1B, 2, 4, and 5 for the 2016 construction season.
Been moved by Sean that we proceed with projects 1B, 2, 4, and 5 for the 2016 construction season. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
Seconded by John. Is there any discussion?
We're gonna split out 4 into 2 different bids, correct? Right. So it's 4 and 4.
4A and 4B.
No, it's 4.
2 projects
4 for the
contained.
gravel and 4 for culvert.
Is there any further discussion?
Gravel and culvert.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Dale?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries.
Make sure that
Should call on you first.
Woke me up.
Page 29 is the local roads conference in Rapid City. Anyone interested in traveling on that? Bus trip costs $15. You get on a Greyhound type bus, stop at a few places on the way down to pick up other people. And some of the agenda, that's on these pages.
I have it here.
It's a very good conference. everybody that's gone there has said it's been one of the best conferences they've attended. As far as gaining knowledge and different things that's been done. Anyone's interested, I will make the reservations, yeah, you work it in? Ron? You got time.
Not this year.
Stop on your way to Denver.
Stop in Deadwood.
Are you going, Wayne?
Like to.
Okay, you take my place.
John?
Oh.
Stop in Deadwood. We have a steak, make some money.
Stop in Deadwood, beer in the bus. Keep up in the stakes.
Stay in Denver.
No, I think you should go, though, Wayne. That would be. It wouldn't be.
Thank you. I know Matt had talked to some of you guys about that waiting class, and he really got a lot out of it. Where they attended Valley City for the one day in-house classroom training, and then they came up here and they demonstrated and worked on County Road 22 there. We showed them some tricks, how to do pulling the shoulders, take and cut a V-trench, bring that up in there, cover it up with the gravel that you already pulled over to the side and bring it back across. So, I know we really appreciated being able to do it. So thank you too. So. Sometimes I hesitate on some of those things because they're kind of expensive, but at least if you can obtain some knowledge and stuff from those classes,
It makes you more efficient and benefits the taxpayers.
There's no sense in sending somebody who has to do a poor job.
We'll be able to tell if he learned anything.
already, Pete Mason said, you're doing something different.
How would he tell?
I don't know, he's driving the road. Troy, you're going there.
Deadwood.
Can I take some Matha with?
You can talk her into it.
If we're stopping in Deadwood.
Let's see, what else do I have? I think that's about it. Anything more?
One thing with the projects, I guess my plan will probably be, I can't make the next meeting, but the first meeting in October, I'll plan to bring the design contracts for the graveling projects. And then if you want also that culvert replacement or box culvert project, what I think I'll do though is just bring one contract for all graveling and a separate contract for the culvert.
Do we have to bid the engineering services again too? How does that work?
Again,
I think the last time we did it for all of the House Bill 1176 and 1358, or 2103 project.
we're still working under the same contract, you're saying?
Not the same
It's not a
contract, but it's the same.
Agreement,
Service
engineering.
agreement.
There you go.
Yeah, I
The
thought.
engineering contracts weren't,
I don't remember.
I don't remember we have. Do we have a copy of that?
So,
For next meeting, I know we're looking at it.
Okay.
You've already decided to go ahead with all those projects. Then
That was the purpose of our vote last time, was to get it so all these projects were covered under the same engineering agreement.
Yeah, I don't remember. I just want to look at it and make sure that's what it was.
So I'll plan to bring, two contracts. Do you still want me to, or do you want me to bring one for the culvert and box culvert? Or culverts or box culvert project? I'm assuming we should probably bid that first before the graveling project. Or at least have the completion date sooner So we get that work done before we gravel that road.
Yeah, we can bid that anytime, if that's the plan.
We were gonna bid it in two ways though, right? We were gonna bid culverts and the box culvert.
Well, or just bid it either or.
Right.
Because we specs written up for each one, or are they?
This specs are all together.
Okay,
Okay. I think that's it, unless you've got something else.
I don't think so.
Did they ever look at your book for the weekend?
I don't know, I never was contacted by anybody.
I don't think D&D has been here yet.
Because we're gonna have to have something pretty tall on top of that road, so. We put a ladder in the building bucket.
Tarp strap in there. That's what we'll
Tarp strap, but, no one knows he's in there, I think.
Okay,
Have a good weekend.
You too.
Thanks, Mike.
That's all I wish.
Kelly?
Kelly Vincent's on the agenda.
2 o'clock.
Me. Huh? She knows she's on the agenda at 2 o'clock? Does she have a cough in her mouth?
I know she was really busy today, so I don't know if she missed the time or whatever.
Kelly had to run up to the school. Rapid kids. Somebody got sick or something. What's going on? Let's see.
Do the gaming permit,
The
Do you
what?
want to do this?
gaming permit. Maple tree.
Yeah, we could do this thing too.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay,
Dennis Hogan contacted me. This mullein weed is along the railroad tracks, really the northern tracks. It's starting to get out into his fields. He's a no-till farmer, and this weed can't take tillage, but it is fairly resistant to a lot of different chemicals. It's not on the county noxious weed list. Burlington Northern will spray for it if it is on the county noxious weed list. And in order for us to put it on the county weed list, it's 4.147-10 as the county weed board. The county weed board may designate as noxious certain weeds that are not on the state noxious weed list, provided the county weed board consults with the North Dakota State University Extension Service, so we talk to our county agent, and that the designation is approved by the commissioner. And then mullein would, if approved, mullein would become a noxious weed in Griggs County. There's really no downside to it. It hasn't spread yet. I think that probably came leaky grain cars and stuff down the tracks and so it is a noxious weed in other states and I think a couple other counties, the way I understood it. I haven't been able to find that yet, but I know it is in other states. And they're not asking for us to do anything. Burlington Northern will spray it as soon as it's on the county noxious weed list. So Dennis asked me if I would bring it up, and I'll brought it up. And we would have to put it on the agenda for the next weed board meeting.
Okay.
Sounds reasonable.
So can we schedule a weed board meeting at next 21st meeting?
Yep, that will need Megan there.
Well, she can, I would assume Samantha will just give her this information here and let her, we just gotta consult with her.
Yep.
Yeah, so she can come there, yeah, it's coming, as long as she got the information first. And then we just have to send a recommendation to the state ag commissioner.
Do we need a weed officer at that meeting?
No.
No, okay.
The weed board does it, yeah.
Okay.
And we're the weed board. So then we just send it out to the ag commissioner with a campaign contribution and it's all done.
Okay. Raffle permit for the Mabel Lutheran Church quilt raffle.
All right.
I'll move we approve the permit for the Maple Leaf Church.
Been moved by Sean to approve a permit application for Mabel Lutheran Church. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
I think we're on one. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Kelly, you want us to do one more item before you start, or are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. What do you want to do?
Let her in.
Whatever. I put together the reimbursement for the grant, just for the stuff that you emailed me for. This one is Troy's copy. Sign that, and
Equipment that we
then,
purchased last,
Yep.
I don't know, about 6 months ago.
and then I've got copies for you if you want. So we were working on putting together everything for the reimbursement, but like I said, Ron had emailed me on Saturday and thought that we should only do for the basically non-construction costs. So those are the only two non-construction costs that we have. Also, here's copies.
Why only for the non-construction stuff?
Well, I haven't really had a chance, hardly at all, to look at the construction stuff, but
Oh,
And I guess I did kind of have a few questions and concerns about that too. We did get that response from Sally stating that we have till December to send in for reimbursements, otherwise we would lose the grant money.
was that on this grant or that other grant? Because there was another grant that we,
No, that's on the court facilities
Court
grant.
facilities
Yep,
grant.
the only grant that we work with Sally is the
Mhm.
court facilities grant. So,
I'm thinking of the one that we decided to let expire.
which one is it? Oh, that.
That was
Oh, you're
for
talking about the,
hardening the bench.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
putting
what
that-
we're out by.
Yeah. Yep, no, that one we did go ahead and say, no, we're not going to take that. So, the one that I handed out, this one here that shows this breakdown.
Yeah.
There's a couple things on here that two, I guess, I think I highlighted the walk-through metal detector for that $4,500. Bob did get a couple free from the, what was that from?
Homeland Security. Marshal
Yeah, from the
Service.
Marshal Service, the Federal Marshal Service. So he did, he has two of those he got free actually from them. They're in the garage of the new courthouse. He said one of them there might be an issue with, but they said that there was more of those. So that's actually a cost that we're not going to need to worry about. And then of course, the other thing that we haven't purchased then was that there's also the grant that we were awarded for was that the amount for the furniture and those sort of things. So that too, we're not planning on purchasing at all, or not planning on purchasing by December. We would lose the money for that as well. So those are kind of a couple questions that I had.
Where is the furniture?
That should be on that one. It's the last couple pages on there. The last two pages, the Network Center Communications. And that was presented and awarded in a grant.
Just a quick question. This check here was for Netgear wireless controller. That's part of the Network Communication Center?
Nope, this network, this is all furniture. That's the name of that business.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Geez, I thought there was more that we were gonna apply for. So I guess, I was thinking there were 3 invoices, but I guess I
Nope.
miscounted.
The two things, the handheld and this video distribution, this 19904, and this stuff was combined into that one voucher that he has.
Oh.
There. And of course, it's less than the estimate because he has not billed for labor on some of those things.
How come you didn't bill for labor?
Well, some of this stuff, I guess he's not completely, he doesn't have everything installed yet.
Okay. I didn't know that. Well, I guess I'm saying this, yeah.
Well, so should we wait and turn it in until we have that bill?
No.
Rather than,
Well, I don't think he'd be able to do it until he can get in there and
Yeah, I don't
actually
think we're
work
gonna
on the
plan
building.
on doing any work in that section.
Okay.
So maybe just, if this is all we've done, maybe apply for this, I guess.
yeah.
So what's left for the grant after this was, what, in the email from Sally, Ron had been communicating with her. She did state with here, I guess I need copies of that. Just to read too.
Okay.
Read that. Yeah, she kind of broken it down with her. Just the 64, 690, 51 was specified for the furniture, the sound system, DVD player, metal detectors. And she just said that part of that award can't be shifted over for finishing and materials. So the finishing and labor can't exceed $84,620.43. So I'm thinking we've exceeded that, haven't we, on the
Well,
construction costs? So
Yeah, and her numbers are always the 75% number.
Mhm, yes.
So it's
But-
really, we would have to show that we had paid 110,000 or
Yeah,
something.
and pretty sure we've exceeded that, haven't we?
Well, I don't know. The one in question, I suppose, would be how we would ever interpret that 102,000. We paid it on behalf of the building authority. And I suppose if we never get the pay back, we say that went towards the courtroom. And that's about the only portion really that we paid, all of the other payments were really for the EOC Center. Except that for the 102,000, we said that is for the remainder of request 5 or 6, pay request 8.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, so, but that's still to be litigated, I suppose. So we haven't really forgiven them to pay us back that 102,000. So I don't think we can really.
And the building authority making the payments doesn't qualify for the grant?
It does. I think I have an email from Sally where she said she doesn't care.
That's right, so we don't have to break it out, we can just show the costs of what's been paid and then.
Yeah, that was my other question. So, as long as the payment's by the building authority.
Yeah, I specifically emailed her and answered that question.
I saw that somewhere where you asked if that
She said-
qualified, and that's fine, so.
So the payment shouldn't really take very much. It's just, I don't know, we can just take a certain percentage of each of pay requests, 6, 7, 8, or 5, 6, 7, 8, or something.
Well, actually, it's spelled out. It's spelled out in their invoice, the work that was finished, the percentage on each project that was finished.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because I.
You had done a worksheet.
And then construction engineers, when we closed this thing out, remember they gave us the percentage of each project that was finished, and that's all spelled out there.
Yeah. Well, that spreadsheet I made, was that for more than 110,000?
I believe so.
If it
I
was.
believe it was. So that's what my thoughts are, why wait and risk losing it if we've already
Well, if that's,
spent the amount that you need to?
yeah, if that spreadsheet's already made up, so we could invoice just right off of that. Whatever I put, 120,000 or.
I can't remember exactly what that bottom, I think I've got it downstairs, but
And you're
I think I brought that
saying
up.
you should do it at the same time? Or?
we don't have, I mean, if we want to send this one in, just get this done and then work on that. I think I'm going to need help with that. It's
Okay.
just, I've got the pay requests and I've tried to go through them and
Yeah.
it's not as easy as
Yeah,
these.
and I
You
just
know,
think-
here's your bill, here's your invoice, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
I
Those
think
are.
as long as this is completed, we just won't send.
Yeah, I think so. And then next week I should have a lot more time to
Okay.
work on it.
So, but yeah, that was my one question, is if we were exceeded that, why not send it?
Well, if the building authority payments qualified, then we better max this thing out. We were operating under the assumption before that it had to be EOC payment or county payments in order to qualify, and we didn't want to put in 25%. If the building authority is, then we've already put in 25%. Let's get the money back, and then let's turn around and put that money back into the project, into the courthouse part of the project. After we did the paperwork correctly, saying that here's what we're putting in, and this
I
is not
agree.
part of the
Yeah, it's
lawsuit.
too complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess my question is, is there plans to purchase the furniture that's set in here, or is that gonna be, because if we're not planning on doing that, we should release these funds back to them. Because we are withholding, 25% of 30,190, that's on here. So,
75% is 30,000.
yes.
Right.
21,005.
Yep, yep. So that's a good chunk if we're not going to be, I think, yeah, it was 10,000 would be for
Right.
us. A little over 10,000 was our 25%. I don't do that.
It'd be $7,250
There you go.
if it was 30,000.
Yeah, there you go. So that's the portion we would have to spend to get the furniture that we have in here. So is there plans to have that purchased by the end of December?
It's already been bid?
Yep, that's what the last two pages of,
That's
this is what was presented to the committee and approved by the committee.
I don't
These-
have that.
Do you have that? I gave you one. There's a big one for you. It's on the back of this chair.
These guys are hogging my stuff.
Sharon is here.
Maybe I
You know, baby.
Oh, yeah, right.
You were just gonna hand it back, you were just gonna hand it back to Ron anyway.
What's everybody talking about?
Say, figure it out.
I was reading this. What are you guys talking about?
So yeah, the last two pages there, that's what was submitted to the grant and that was what was approved. Everything that's on the front of here, this is what was submitted to the grant committee and approved, so.
I suppose if we wanted it, there were certain things that were wrong in the courtroom. Like it was 6 inches too high or 6 inches too low or something.
It was low, and I did find a sketch, did I show you that? Where they had, it was different.
All different. than
Somebody
that.
somewhere along the line altered it. It was, in my mind, it was originally set up the way that it was supposed to. I can't see the height on the bench, but, you
Yeah,
know, so,
but that would be.
It's too high or too
That's-
low.
Too
low.
low, yeah.
Can't we just apply for a shorter judge?
That's probably true.
Well, it's the attorneys that see who
Oh.
the judge is. They can kneel before the judge.
Just the opposite of the carnival ride then? You
Yeah.
must be able to pass under this.
But that wouldn't be eligible under this reimbursement.
I don't think so. I don't think so. And like I said, I don't know who made those changes, but he did fine. It's kind of,
All right.
but. So I guess we need at some point to make a decision about this money that's set aside specifically for that furniture, for those areas.
But we can do that. I mean, right now, we need to, do we want to do this?
Yep.
Let's do one thing at a time here.
Okay.
So, we've got equipment that has been paid for by the county. And Kelly has prepared a letter to send in for reimbursement. The reimbursement amount would be $17,820.75. And then Kelly and Ron will bring,
Do you want to, sorry.
go ahead.
I want to double check my math there. I transposed a number there. I see I have an error. I've got 17,280 there and 17,820 there. Let me right check my math.
820 is right.
Okay. Sorry about that.
So the 17, so then we'll have to have 30,190 times 125, 75,4750 for our share of the furniture then, correct? 7,400.
So it's $17,820.
And 75 cents. She's got it right at the bottom, it's just that.
Oh, okay.
Yep, 75,4750.
Motion to approve.
I'll make a motion that we authorize Kelly to send in the reimbursement, or the reimbursement request for $17,820.75.
Been moved by John. We'll send in this reimbursement request. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale? Ron? Sean?
Aye.
Craig votes aye. Motion carries. Okay, now let's talk about the rest of the grant. There is more than one question that needs to be answered, and we don't really need to answer them today because we're not gonna take action anyway.
The only one would be the furniture's all set up and ready, and we could use $7,500 of the 17,000 to get back, and then that would be done out of the way. If everyone wants to do that, I don't know.
Right, well, Kelly needs to tell them if we're gonna do it or not, so do we wanna plan on purchasing that furniture that's been bid for this project? It seems kinda silly not to do it in my head, but we do not need the metal detector. And Ron and Kelly will figure out the construction costs that we're gonna send in.
Yep.
So,
Well, the furniture, what all is that again?
All in the back page.
I think we on those last two pages.
imagine it's the chairs for the jury and the
It's for
gallery
the,
and,
it's for the commissioners slash jury room, table chairs, extra chairs for theirs to furnish the
So none of this
courtroom.
stuff will be used?
Well, not if we, that's not if we buy new stuff.
It's also to furnish in the lobby and the clerk of court office, judges' chambers.
It's in here.
Yeah, it's on the back of this page here. It's the last 2 pages of
Oh,
this.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
So this is for, but this is also for the clerk of court offices?
Clerk of Court's office, judge's chambers, the lobby, the 2 offices, or the conference room that's also being used as a veteran service office, the courtroom, and the commissioner's chambers / jury room.
Yeah, I very honestly thought it was kind of extravagant. In particular, like, well, the clerk of court desk, $2,850. So it seems like that's an expensive, too expensive on the desk. And then all the way through it, really.
Where's the clerk?
Well, that's on this first page, clerk of court desk.
How many offices are there
There's
gonna be
3.
for the
That's
clerk
3
of
of
court?
them.
3, yes.
Oh,
And you know, we only have 2 employees now, so
Yeah.
that costs the one.
well,
So.
I don't know if we ever will have 3. In my opinion.
Kelly,
Mhm.
it says clerk of court offices. There's only one, isn't there?
Yeah. What are you thinking? I'm not seeing that.
Well, the heading there, it says offices.
Oh, just a mess, I guess. There is just one clerk of court office. Should not be an S.
Okay.
Should be singular.
Well, I wonder.
So do we have
There's a
to,
court recorder, or there's a court, there's another office off the, is this for the judge's offices too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it covers
Yeah,
the
courtroom.
chambers. Yeah.
This is a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
well, I guess, do we have to get everything, or can we just get like some of it, or, I mean, if there's stuff that can be used here, over there.
Yeah, just guest chair, $6,000. That just seems like a lot to me.
40 chairs.
Well,
It's 40 chairs.
it is.
It's only 150 per chair.
Okay, it's only.
No?
Well, again, like the desks, I think we should get 2.
I think I want to see what we got first.
I was just wondering if it has a 130-year guarantee like the stuff we have sitting there already.
You kind of have to not look at that $30,000 number, look at
I know.
the 25%. It looks like a pretty good value then.
I'm not gonna make the motion, I'll vote on it if you guys want, but I'm not gonna make the motion.
What are your wishes, fellas?
I'd make a motion to order the office furniture.
Well, I don't know if we're gonna order it, are we?
Or apply for the grant for it, or utilize the grant dollars for the office furniture. Is that what we're looking for?
I mean, sooner or later, we're gonna have to order it, but,
Yeah.
we'll probably wait for a little while.
Yeah. You just want to know whether it should be turned back.
Yeah, because I think if we're not going to do it, we should release those
Let
funds
somebody
back.
else utilize
Mhm.
it.
'Cause we've been holding on to it for a
Yeah.
while.
I think we should utilize the funds that are available there.
So moved by Dale that we utilize the grant funds for furniture for the new courthouse, courtroom, and surrounding facilities, I guess. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
Seconded by John. Is there any discussion?
I think we should only order stuff that we need, but we don't, I mean, do we need all of it?
I don't know what we need.
You know what I mean? There's stuff here that can be used.
What do we
If you
need?
got 3 chairs, take 3 chairs off of here, you know.
I mean, who's gonna make that determination?
Yeah, I guess I would vote against it until that determination is made by somebody, but that's just my plan, is to vote no until it's decided.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Ron?
No.
Sean?
No,
Pressure. Try votes aye. Motion carries. Okay, does that help?
Yes.
Okay.
Ron, you'll come in. I have a packet.
Next week, something.
Okay. Sounds good.
Because it looked like a yucca plant.
I'm sure my people will let me add it on here. Sure.
Julie?
Ready.
I am.
Say,
Hey,
is the group ready?
unless somebody has to, unless somebody needs a break. Good, all right.
You're not gonna let me go with the one, right? Samantha, did you give them out the budget that I sent you?
The proposed?
Yeah.
Yep.
Where is it, Ron?
I'm looking for it.
Do you want me to provide you the extra copies that I ran just
Oh.
in case?
It was just in your book.
Should be
Sorry.
in our book.
Sorry, it wasn't in your packet. I don't have it in your packet. I'm sorry.
No, it's in our budget book.
Yep.
I just-
E7.
I just knew Ron knew the
Schedule
budget book
E7.
better than
No, is that the only one you gave them? You didn't give them the other one that I ran? Okay. That's,
There's no detail. All we got is a number, and 37.
right, and that was my understanding is what you wanted.
Well, I thought we were gonna get a breakdown.
Well, that's why I made a breakdown just in case.
Okay.
Because my understanding was you wanted that form completed, so that's the one that I completed. There should be extras
I
there.
sent her this and then.
That's what you sent me. I
Yeah.
thought that's what you wanted completed. Okay. If Jamie wants one, I think I made some extra copies, that's fine. I assume Jamie's here just to be Jamie, as state's attorney, not as the public hearing, that this is legally being.
Otherwise, we'd make them sit in the back.
Do we have is there a mill levy cap on this or not?
5 mils
Okay.
for the district,
Yeah.
so that would be both
Yep,
counties.
yep.
Okay. So there should be some extra
I got
ones.
one. Thank you.
Okay. All right. First question before we start is, before we get going on that, we usually have tried to set the joint board commissioner meetings. Okay. How does September 23rd look at your calendars? It's a Wednesday, because the joint board cannot be held any earlier than 15 days from these individual hearings. That's what's in Century Code. That puts us at September 19th, which is a Saturday. And I don't think anybody wants to come on a Saturday. So then looking at the next week, I have some conflicts. So we look tentatively at Wednesday, September 23rd. That's the fourth Wednesday.
What time?
8 o'clock?
In this room?
No, Macville. Because it's a joint board. That's when Nelson County and Griggs County come together
Meet in the same place we did last year.
in my office.
Okay.
Conflict?
No, I'm okay.
Conflict?
Yes.
Conflict for the whole day, or
Water board.
what time do they meet? Okay. What time would they be done?
9:30.
Fiddle around till 11.
Well, can't you move them a little faster? No? Would afternoon work then?
Yes.
Are you cringing because it doesn't work well, or?
Yeah.
Okay. The other option, there's a couple different ways we can look at it, but I was always afraid this is happening when you try to put 10 people scheduled, 11 people scheduled together. Two different things we could look at if we have to. We could pull it together on the next week. I don't have any dates from the Nelson County guys for that week. We could look at a phone conference call if we had to. If people can't come physically together, we could look at that. And then the third option would be, knowing that one or two can't come, it's nice if there's a majority of the commissioners. So that's some options for you to think about.
Right, you could be there in the morning on the 23rd. So if all the rest of us can, we can just
Yeah,
do
I'll
it.
just bail on it. I'm good with that.
Okay, well, I mean, that's an option, because we have done that in the past. It's preferable, of course, to have everybody there, but, so that'll work then, and
Yeah.
for everybody? Okay, and I'll send out a reminder, postcard, email, or not email, but letter or something, then for September 23rd at 8 o'clock in my office in Macville.
One stipulation, I want Ardell to be there. You'll be there, won't you?
Odell? Yeah. He said some choice words too, so I'll do that. He
No, I
said,
want him to
not
be there.
at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I said, fine. Griggs County in the past wanted it at 7 because a lot of them wanted to get farming. So Odell, you mean? It's not Ordell. It's Odell.
Yeah.
Would you call him Ordell just to take him off?
No. I like him. I think he's entertaining.
He's Odell. That's all right. He called me Sharon Young today. And I said, I take that as a compliment. So thank you. Anyway, so, okay. That's it.
So he's confirmed he's going to be there.
He tells me every time we'll see. I make no promises. Anyway, all right, so let's get back to this. And
I
again,
gotta get caught lining.
anyway, back to the budget. This is the budget that is first approved by the Board of Health. Okay, the Board of Health sets that budget first. Then what I did was before I had my board meeting, I actually did talk to Samantha. I actually talked to Jack Davidson, both county auditors, to see how that proposed dollar amount would work into the budgets, to see if it was out of line, close to what you were looking at, if there was discussion, et cetera, et cetera. And so those are the same dollar amounts that were used last year. So when we look at that under income, that is the dollar amount. As we talked, I went into I suppose I took about a half hour up at Nelson County, because we went a little bit more into detail, especially for those that might not make it, or if we had to do a phone conference call. The bioterrorism grant, that one is set. That comes from the state. That runs again, if you remember, state grants run July 1st to June 30th, and our calendar year runs January through December. So this is the state grant. That is set by the state for the amount. It's actually down about $11 from the previous grant year. This year, when I looked at the budget, we're getting more and more payers under disease control. We used to have Blue Cross, then we'd have client donations, then we'd have PCC, which was a clearinghouse. What I tried to do was simplify for budget purposes, since it's all about immunizations and money's coming in. So I simplified it to put it all under health insurance payers. and that is the one that's off to the side where it says 88,000 health insurance payers. That includes all of the income from immunizations. For example, I used to have Medicare as a breakdown, as a category, and like I said, it kept getting longer and longer. And so I'm trying to look at setting up the bookkeeping or the reporting of income so it's better and it's cleaner and a little bit easier. Those same categories that we had in last year's budget, that's all included in disease control, health insurance payers. For example, the other one that was included was Medicaid as a separate line item. I took that apart this year's budget because half was for immunizations or so, half were for home visits. And so rather than trying to always break it down, I was trying to clean it up a little bit more for budget purposes.
So health insurance payers doesn't really mean people that are paying.
When I bill, if you came in and got a tetanus
This is all-
booster, if you came in and got a Tdap, a tetanus booster,
Yeah.
I would bill Sanford, since you're on Sanford, right? Or is it county?
The county's on Sanford.
County's on Sanford. If you were getting your insurance, I would bill Sanford for that. That's the payments coming in from whichever source I bill.
So this includes private
Private,
and
donations. If somebody doesn't have health insurance and they say, here's a $10 donation for it, that would include everything.
and Medicare and all the.
And Medicaid, right.
So
Right. In-house, I still have to keep all that. But for purposes of putting together a budget, I thought this was simpler. Because we would still get all of the end of the year tax information from the different payers. So we know exactly what each category is. But otherwise, my budget was getting to be almost 2 pages long if I had every single thing divided up. So that's how I was trying to clean it up for disease control. When I put grants, the italics, that disease control grant might be what comes from the immunization program. That'll vary anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000. So kind of depends on once the state gets their money in, we can't ask for anything more than what they give it to us. It's a set amount.
So that's federal money?
It's federal goes to state, comes to us. So it's not really technically federal money. It's a block pass-through, I think they call it. So
Trying to figure out whose pocket's getting dug in, that's all.
all of it, whether it's taxpayer local or state or federal. But that's what disease control gets their monies from the CDC. Then they apportion it out based on health units. Does that make sense? It's really all our pockets, no matter which way you look at it. Okay? The SPIF-SIG, when I say SPIF-SIG, that's SPF.SIG. What that refers to is that big alcohol prevention grant. That is the one that is messing up everybody's budget in public health across the state. Most of the grants, when we write a grant, you have some flexible funding to do the grant, then you submit a reimbursement request for actual amount of dollars, then you get the reimbursement. This is the one grant that is completely opposite this time. It was only available to public health units for a minimal amount of work on my part at this point, which was doing the community assessments, which were doing the interviews, which was putting together a plan, sending in the reports. They paid us up front. So that money is sitting there and will be expended for projects. Okay? So that's messing up my budget because it hasn't been spent, but it will. One of the things, and we got a 1-year extension on that grant, so one of the things that I'm looking at doing with community dollars that's going to go to help projects within that apply for it. For example, like law enforcement can get a texting tip line. Okay, we're sharing that between Nelson and Griggs. The close-up group, if they are going to do something that meets the strategies of this grant, then they can get that. So I put together a 1-page fact sheet on this SPIF-SIG, but that's the one, like I said, that because it came different than all the others, it really looks like we're just sitting there with lots of money, and we are, but it's committed money.
But if it's expensed, down on the expense side at $100,000, so it's a 50% match grant?
No. That would make it way too easy to explain. No, this grant that we wrote, or that we were available, was for like $219,000. Okay? So that's the total amount. We get the payments for that minimal amount of reporting.
So this is, okay, so it's over a how many year period?
It's
Is it
over
over a 2-year period?
yes, it won't be done until September 30th, so it's
Right,
been
so
at
you-
least 2 years.
So you
Yeah.
expect to spend $100,000 in the first year?
That's what, well, I'm guessing. We've
Yeah.
spent some already, but I didn't break it down into a whole lot of detail, but we've got some sitting there that's going to be expended.
So
So-
$52,000 is 25% of the total money that's going to come in from the project.
Um,
200,000, 52,000.
when the final grant is done, there's a bump payment. Or not a bump payment, that's the wrong one to use. There's a final payment that comes in. Plus, there was a sustainability grant that was included for another $9,000. So it's not so much a percentage, okay? But that's why I said it was terribly confusing to try to explain it to Nelson County. And so I knew there was going to be questions on it. And I'll try and figure out a better way to explain it at the joint board, but that's why I put, that's the new money that I haven't got yet in my checking account
Right.
that I'm anticipating,
You've
okay?
got 75,000 in there already, and
At least,
52
yep.
is coming.
Yep, and that's what I'm figuring. So then when expenses, when all these mini grants or the different things, the projects we want to do locally between the two, provide money to like a close-up group, if they help with some projects, some of the strategies that's on that purple and white sheet that I was handing out, that's how those entities will get it, whether it's a church group, whether it's, schools and church community groups come to mind first. And I'll have a better handle on that as we start getting this money distributed and projects starting being done. Okay? All right. Regional Collaborative, I left that off because at this point, if you remember, we had about a 18-month grant that was for $250,000. That was a collaborative. We were one of the 8 local public health units up in the Northeast region. Okay, that money's is completely gone now. That project ended June 30th. However, as a collaborative, we might still have some smaller grants coming in. Okay? Right now, there's nothing there. Possibly about 4,000. Depends on how that goes. Any comments you want to make?
Oh, I just were turning the whole country into a bunch of snitches. Develop texting tip line to assist law enforcement. I don't know if that's I don't know if I agree with that one.
Well, that actually
As long as
is.
they're not driving.
Yeah, well, you're supposed to text law enforcement, is somebody texting?
No. The idea behind it, of course, because it's with the alcohol grant, was to get that program with a focus on underage drinking and binge drinking. What I would foresee it happening is that other crimes would be provided to law enforcement. So that's a good thing. You're supposed to like that.
Nazis had a similar
I
program.
like it. I like binge
Do
drinking.
you? I know one of the guys said last night. Nothing says that. No. All right. Anyway.
I figure if I drink that every day, it's not really good.
That's when you stop. That's when you stop and start.
I never stop, so.
Samantha, is it like this all the time? Okay. All right. Moving on then. Since we talked to Griggs County, the Health Alert Network, what I talked about is that's the connectivity and the system that they use to connect all of the public health units, all of the hospitals. Whatever is put in, they reimburse us for it. They're actually looking down the road that the state may take over that function, and that would be great. However, I wouldn't look for 6 to 9 months, so I left it in there until it actually becomes a reality. But that's not just internet connectivity, that's all of that. It has to do with the rural DCN, some of those connections that only rural communities were eligible for, those monies. Home visits I talked about before. Some of that is with medical assistance, some of that is people that make a donation. And best guess. Interest is self-explanatory. Nelson County monies was the same as last year. Rent, if you remember, rent has to do with Dr. Dunham subleases from us for a set amount, but he also pays for some administrative assistance, so it is not just rent. And so if Tasha weren't doing things for him, she would be freed up to do something else. So that's where it's included as part of her salary, or part of the personnel costs. Schools, when we get together and do their immunization record updates for them, we've been at $4 a student since I started. Joe Mack started that when she was here, and we've never raised it to look at that $4 per student. With declining school enrollment, that may come down, but that looks to be about where we're sitting at still. The carryover funds, like you alluded to earlier, John, had to do with the money that's already in the checking account, but it'll be used to, again, I don't want to come up with a deficit budget, obviously, so that would be what would be used for expending some of those projects. State aid, if you notice, that's a combined total. There's regular state aid, if you want to call it that, and there's tobacco state aid. That is set by legislature or writing an extra grant or so for the tobacco state aid. That's based on population, base amount, and so those figures are determined. So it's the total, if you look at the italics on this side, this adds up to this side, okay? Tobacco monies, that's the grant that we write every year, and that is also based on a base amount and population. I would suggest we want to keep a close eye on the legislature in 2017 because that money could go away. There's two pots of money, and we talked real briefly about that at the joint board last year. There's the master settlement dollars, and then there's the strategic contribution fund. Master settlement, if I got this one right without my notes, is the one that's 45, 45, 10, where it's split 45 into water, 45 into school, and then 10% goes to community health trust fund.
That was a result of that lawsuit when the...
Well, that's two. There's the master settlement, and then there was a strategic fund contribution that the Attorney General's worked on. Since Heidi Heitkamp was involved with that, we got a lot of money. So that's why there's kind of like two funds. This one that funds our tobacco program is the one that could go away if the legislature chooses to take that money and spend it on something else versus tobacco prevention and control. Right now, we're either number 1 or number 2 in the country for having a good program. As for a state-funded program. What is left with that 45, 45, 10, that 10% is monies that the North Dakota State Health Department gets and helps fund the North Dakota Quit line. So that's not monies that we've had. This is what I would see in 2017 that could go away, worst case scenario. Okay? And again, to balance the budget, I put in the carryover funding so that you can see that. Audit, I have not utilized the state auditor yet, and so I put it in 2016. If it would get done in 2015, of course, then it wouldn't be an expense. The state auditors, if you remember our discussion, we are looking at between $7,500 and $8,000 for an audit for our office. When I checked with Jack Davidson, who uses the state auditor, they only get charged about $17,000, and that includes their water board audit and the county. And so it seems pretty high to me, from the state auditors. But I got them down on their fee last time, and I don't think I'm going to be as successful this time. So I am looking at independent auditors that will do our audit for us. And if that's the case, then I need to go through my Board of Health to approve doing that instead of that. So keep that in mind. That may be an expense for next year. Depends on how we get that done. I'd rather have it in there than not. When I talk about some of the grants up above and some of those monies coming in, some of the things that are expenses then that are not ours or salary or fringe related, then that's where I look at bioterrorism, 2,200 expenses. That might be travel. That might be, I have to be available 24/7, 365. And so I charge off my cell phone to that grant. And so that's the expense within that category. That's not my hours. But that's the piece that I kind of tried to differentiate. Equipment's maintenance repair, same as last year. If you remember, the $8,500 on the top matches $8,500 on the bottom. Health insurance, because we are a district that is in Century, no, it's not in Century Code. It's by law that we fall in the state, same as the state employees, so we get a better rate, but we have to offer full-time insurance if they work 20 hours a week for 20 weeks of the year. That's enough to qualify for the full-time health insurance. I think for monthly rates, ours is 38.16 per month. It doesn't differentiate whether it's a single or a family. That's the rate it is, and that's the way it is with that. So that's in there. Lost my line. Where am I? Oh, insurance. Pretty basic insurance, miscellaneous. Again, just for those categories, it doesn't fit anywhere else. Office rent, we should be good till January 2017, I believe, for office rent that we pay, and that goes to Berg Insurance. Office supplies, again, things that don't fit under any of the grants sometimes get put under office supplies. Payroll expenses, the Board of Health has set our salaries. We have 2.8 full-time equivalents, plus a nurse that works part-time with hourly, just anywhere between 150 to 250 hours a year is what that ends up. So the 2.8 full-time equivalents includes me, and that's that category. Phone is both cell phone and office landline. Program supplies, again, is high, but remember, we do the purchase of the vaccine. So we're going to be coming up into the end now with flu vaccine, and there's another vaccine out there that is recommended for those that are 65 and older that we haven't started really pushing. I kind of like to sit on a vaccine about a year and just kind of see how the uptake is across the other public health units, and that's something called Prevnar 13. It's another different kind of pneumonia shot. And so again, when you buy that privately, that's where, it's a bigger chunk of change, usually towards the end of the year. Keep in mind, as you were asking before, that's the private vaccine, and so that's one of the expenses under that. Retirement is 15.9.
6.8.
65, 15.65%.
Close enough.
Okay,
Somewhere's around.
so that's in there. Spiff SIG, like I said, remember that 100,000 is not necessarily all coming expenses to the office, but again, to look at community grants. But while I was trying to come up with a figure that would be
15.26.
Thank you. I had it this morning and I'm drawing blank. Tobacco miscellaneous, remember that could be anything from signage to travel to things that are very specific in the grant that they will allow. Okay? Travel, we use the same mileage rates, federal mileage rates that's up there. Utilities and workman's comp. And so the budget, if you were to compare the budget from this year to last year's, which was a question that was asked, so I'm just going to share, I'm going to beat you to the punch on this one. Remember, the thing that screwed me up was the Spiff SIG budget. And the income and expense last year was $341,237 for income. Expense was $340,506. That's how we set last year's budget. So if you take out that Spiff SIG grant, it's going to be pretty close.
Still screws you up a little bit though.
Oh, I know it does.
Because you've got $127,000 of income in Spiff SIG, and you're only carrying, you're short by $1,000, so you're using Spiff SIG money for other parts of, other than the Spiff SIG program.
Well, in my hours, I mean, so it just, I know, it's an estimate, it's the best guess. If, and in this kind of a setting, I give the general overview. The Board of Health gets detailed breakdown. Anybody can have a specific questions asked.
And until the year's over, it doesn't really matter anyway.
Right, and then it depends on if the grants are, the activities are done, but maybe the grant report doesn't get submitted, then the income doesn't come till the following year. So it's a best guess.
Yep.
Questions? Come around the table. Because there's really no action that you take right now, but I just want to make sure we get the questions answered if there is anything.
I'm good.
I'm up to you, dude. Questions?
How come there's so much disparity between what's spent on tobacco cessation and how much you take in?
Because that is more the solid things, and I don't have personnel costs in there. Personnel costs might be in the payroll expenses. But if you want a detailed breakdown, I can, it's just more extra papers. But that's why,
Curiosity.
yeah, that's why, because I was trying to capture the things that, the QuickBooks program would be more detailed, more crazier yet, and I'm trying to figure out a better way to do it. But for my reimbursement requests, I have all that broken down as far as what's spent in payroll, in fringe, which comes out of this category, but it's not reflected on the budget.
You break up the tobacco income into separate expenses.
Right, it's typically personnel, because to try, I'm looking at to try to figure out an easier way to do this, and I haven't figured out an easier way to do it yet, but I'm still working on it, because every single program is like that. Like when we talk about bioterrorism, that's got hours in there too for me that's in here, but maybe it's just the cell phone and the travel that is reflected in that category. But personnel or payroll costs is also part of that.
You probably had us at the 37,311 anyway.
What's that?
You probably had us at this proposing to 37,311.
Did I? Why didn't you say that? I could have done that a lot earlier.
I'm sorry to ask for the detail.
Well,
We enjoyed the articulated discussion.
well, it's what you're saying.
We enjoyed the articulated discussion.
Well, I will tell you, I had a board member say, you know exactly where your money is at, and you're so fiscally conservative, it squeaks sometimes. But I think you need to recognize that because, gentlemen, let's face it, as commissioners, you are new to the health unit and the projects and some of those things. You might have seen bits and pieces of it through home visits, through immunizations, through stuff like that. But you wouldn't have gotten the big overall picture of all we do. You know, and I certainly, if you would like, after the end of the year, to put together more of a handout on all of the programs, numbers,
I'm good.
things like that. I was offering to come see you, besides asking for money. I thought that time it was something that would be interesting. So, well, this sheet, again, because some of it relates to law enforcement, it relates to responsible beverage server training, response to that. It was trying to, how do you put together a $219,000 grant to explain to General John Q. Public? You know, so that's what I was trying to do with that sheet, to show how we got to where we did with the underage drinking and adult binge drinking as the focus areas and those strategies. Anything else?
Anybody have any other questions? No, I think that's it. Thank you,
Okay.
Julie.
Thank you,
All right.
Julie.
Thank you.
See you the 23rd.
See you on the 23rd. Is there any other details you want? Do you want more spiff sig on that details on the 23rd? Okay. Well, that's great. Do you want more? I can send it to you. Because one of the other guys was asking about it. He said, I'm sorry, you're just confusing me. I said, I know. But,
On behalf of Ordell, would it be donuts at the meeting?
you know, I tell you what, he said I forgot that.
Yeah, last time
I said,
he was mad at me last time.
I said I didn't forget. It's just not gonna be there.
Hey, you're fat.
They're not good for you, right?
I can get you something that would be more healthy,
Bring him an
but it's
apple.
going to be out of my own pocket. Because the old grants do not allow you to spend monies on food. I don't care who you are. You
I'll
can't.
bring Digger some carrot sticks.
Ordell wanted donuts.
I don't care. I'll have to come up with something.
Donuts on the combine site?
Donuts first.
So,
Donuts first, though.
all right. Anything else? Jamie, are you going to be there this time? I don't care if you are or not. I just wanted to make sure I had enough seating. So you can see the big boys too.
For that day.
What's that?
I'm pretty sure I have a trial scheduled for that day, so I won't be there, I don't think.
And that's fine. I just wanted to make sure you had a table at the big, a seat at the big table, you know, instead of feeling like you were in the crowd in the back. But
Nope, I won't be there, I don't think.
Do you
okay,
need me to attend?
Samantha, you are always welcome. You do not have to attend.
Okay.
If you attend, it would be the first time, and I don't remember that you've done, because we take minutes I think they alternate chairs, and Odell was chair last year, I believe, so that means that you'll have to elect someone within your group. So that means if,
Troy.
well, you have to do that day.
Oh.
So so then he chairs the meeting, okay?
It sounded like he was chairing the meeting.
Do you want me to be politically correct?
It's really not necessary here.
I don't respond to
Don't
this.
you,
Politically correct.
don't you still tape record?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why I will be politically correct and not respond.
Thank you.
Would you gentlemen like me to attend that or no?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, unless you want to.
No,
I make a motion
I-
to take a 10-minute break. Or do I get done with this first?
No, it's okay.
No, we can get on with this first.
Okay,
I'll rescind my motion.
it still wasn't seconded. You're off the hook. Okay. Is that stuff in here?
No, it's not. I'm sorry. My fault. Patty has a copy though.
Yeah. Give me a sec.
I have a copy too.
She's sending, or
I've got one for everybody to make sure. How's good, girl?
thank you.
Is this part of your training for being certified, or is this just training in the software?
It's training in the software and training in appraisal. They do a combination of both.
Right, but does it go towards the mandatory hours you need to be an appraiser?
No, my understanding is no, it does not. But it actually trains you how to do the appraisal.
But isn't that what the state, that if the state trains you to be the appraiser, that's what being certified is all about.
Yes and no. It does train you to be the appraiser, but then Vanguard has an excellent way of putting the two together to putting the road underneath your feet to actually do the appraising.
No, you need to be certified by the state. The Vanguard is just a program that assists you once you're certified by the state. You're putting the cart before the horse here. You need to get your training from the state so that you're a certified appraiser, and then that will give you the background then to use the software.
Okay. Because I didn't feel I was putting the cart before the horse by doing this, because like I said, I think Vanguard is very comprehensive. It's very all-encompassing. It's not just software. It's also going into the fields, seeing how and why we have appraised. Like we went through the city of Cooperstown, we looked at different houses, looked at what they appraised at, why, and we also taught how a house is actually appraised. It's much more comprehensive than just software. It's actually how to do the actual appraisal.
But that's what the training from the state teaches you. That you're doubling up here. When you get certified as an appraiser from the state by going through their program, you'll be taught all that. So, but this does not qualify for the state program.
The hours don't count
No.
towards certification.
This doesn't count towards certification,
No, it doesn't, no.
but they're gonna teach you the same thing when you do the training through the state.
I'm not exactly sure on that. What I can do is I can have Ryan come and discuss this with you.
Who?
Ryan, the guy that actually, from Vanguard, who actually does the training on the software.
He came out here and you went around to houses in Cooperstown?
Correct. Should I have gotten your approval first?
Absolutely. You have to become certified by the state first. It will probably take a tenth of the training with Vanguard. Once the state trains you, you'll understand everything. You're again the cart before the horse here.
Okay.
It seems to me the training at the state is going to tell you how they want you to do an appraisal, and you're going to take the information from that training and enter it into Vanguard.
Okay.
I don't know that Vanguard, if they're not certified by the state, are certified to give you that. I mean, if they're certified by the state to give you that training, that would be one thing. But if they're not, then we're going to pay them to train you, and then we're going to pay the state to train you for the same thing.
Okay.
You know, that in my head. Now,
I understand where you're coming from. I just wasn't aware of it, so my apologies.
Well, and I don't know that we were even aware that they were even available to do that. You know, Vanguard.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think it would be in all our best interest for you to get some more information regarding the value of that training as opposed to just getting it from the state. And then if you have questions on the software at that point, then you could get support from them based on what the state has you entering into the software based, you know, rather than relying on them. And if their state teaches you something different, then we're kind of going backwards. Or
Actually, Ryan is certified in North Dakota. He's a certified appraiser within North Dakota.
right.
So, I understand what you're saying. What I
But that doesn't do us any good if your time spent with him isn't qualified.
Yeah.
Isn't time.
Yeah,
So,
that's
okay.
the goal, is to get you certified.
okay, let me do some research.
Okay.
And what I'll do is I'll contact the IAAO. They're the ones that actually do the training for the certification.
Okay.
Actually, the training is, the state sets the regulations as to what is considered certified.
Right.
And then we do a combination of the IAAO classes as well as, the majority is with the IAAO certification, and then the state incorporates their own little 2 or 3 or 4 courses. So just to let
It
you know
would be
the
nice if
process.
he was a certified trainer and you could learn the software and the appraisal business at the same time.
Yeah,
That
the
would-
hours would count toward the certification.
Right. Do we even use the Vanguard software?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, that we've always paid that annual.
But you see, that's not mandatory either. I don't know if the state even teaches on the Vanguard software. They teach the principles of it, and the software is an addition. I'm completely against using Vanguard. They're an out-of-state company that one of their selling points is that they'll come and appraise, when they appraise Cooperstown, that the appraisals would more than cover their cost for appraisal. Now,
They're in the tax maximization business?
absolutely. I'm completely against giving them a penny.
Okay.
Okay.
The goal is to raise valuations.
Right, and raise them high enough so that their costs, so that what they charge you is covered by the raise in valuation.
So you feel you got it for nothing.
Yeah,
And everybody gets shafted.
and they come in, they're hitmen, they come in from outside and appraise if a community wants money raised, they bring them in. We did it here, they did it here, they did it in Little, they did it in Hanford. First I never heard of them, they came from Iowa, and all of a sudden, all our taxes go up.
Yeah.
Guess what? Because we wanted to build that. That's when Vanguard showed up.
Okay,
So what do you want me to do?
well, I think you should talk to the state and find out. I think you need to get certified through the state.
She has to.
You have to get certified
Do
through
you
the
know when the
state.
trainings are scheduled and
Yeah,
stuff?
I know when they're scheduled. I need to contact the locals, the North Dakota division, and find out and get some understanding about their schedule to see about how I can work to comply.
I think that's where we want to put our resources toward at this point.
I've already spent some time with Ryan, so I'm gonna go contact him, find out exactly how many hours he was going to bill me. Because on Thursday, he was gonna shorten his time. We shortened the time that he spent with me to reduce the hours. And he was gonna use some of his time with in other places. So I'll get a total from him,
Okay.
and then I'll let you know with the email what the exact total is, and then I'll contact the state. And I don't think I'll have to contact the IAO to find out exactly what I need to do.
Okay,
And then I'll come back and make a presentation on the classes I'm going to take and what I'm going to be doing.
okay.
The state's got a whole program set up, and you just start at the top and you just work your way down.
Well, they have two classes, and they have two classes at each of their training sessions. I need to find out if I can take both classes at the same time. I don't know if that was possible, then that would be sweet. It would reduce the amount of time I have to actually be spent training. But I don't know if that's true or not. So that's what I need clarification on.
And
Because
they've
they
got some
have,
online training too.
Yeah,
They've got online CDs that they send out too.
well, I've already started doing
Okay.
online. There's 5 of the courses that are online. I've already started class 1.
Yeah,
So I've already begun to do
and you'll
that.
get credit for that, and that's $20 and all, is it $300 or $320?
Well, I joined the IAAO,
Yep.
so I could get a reduction in training.
Okay,
So it would pay for itself,
Yes.
actually. So,
then at the end of it, if you need training in the Vanguard, then that's what we'll do, I think.
okay. So I'll let you know how many hours he spent. We'll pay those, get a block,
Yep.
pay those hours, and then I won't do any more until after I'm certified.
Or somewhere in between,
Or
it might take
somewhere
3
in
years to,
between.
what, you know.
Yeah, they're actually giving us 2, so that's why I'm trying to figure it out. Okay? Thank you.
Yeah.
Any more questions, or?
That copied me.
Thank you.
Kind of copied me. Note 4?
3.
Oh, I got 4. I copied you.
Motion, we take a 10-minute break.
Been moved that we get a 10-minute break. Is there a second motion?
Second.
Second by Dale, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Easy.
Did you want to talk about that, what Patty's?
I thought this said our opportunities, that's priorities.
Patty forgot to talk to us about one thing. And I told her, unless we came back and told her otherwise, that she could go ahead. And that was that she was wondering if she could work an extra day or 2 a week here, and because she's doing all this training and stuff. And I said, yeah, you can work another couple days a week if you need to until you get up to speed.
It's been on the right track. And
So, I mean, it's in the budget.
No, that's
It
fine.
doesn't matter. I don't think it takes any action to do that unless somebody wants to
No,
take action
I thought
against
we
it.
told her
I
that
think
before
we
anyway.
should have updates on what she's doing, though, because it appears that she's gets pointed in the right direction.
I think that should be Samantha's job to make sure everybody's toeing the line around here.
Sure, the people that were getting their houses appraised yesterday weren't too happy about that.
My uncertified,
Stop in for the bond appraisal, by the way.
just a practice appraisal.
Random appraisal.
Okay, we can move on here with the budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that with this agricultural letter, we've got the amounts now, the $12,167.26 and the $5,000 for the weed budget. That'll give us a number. That'll give us the amount. We had 21,000 in there.
Well, we reduced both of those to zero.
Right.
So they'll just stay zero, I guess. It's still just stay that in and out.
It's just an in and out.
Right, but we need to add the tag on there. There's a lap and a tag.
For the description.
For the description in the weed, where is that?
B2.
B2. Weed control C33. So we need to go. See, it was 21,000. We took that. I don't know if we took it out or not yet.
Yeah, we Samantha did take it out, but she hasn't printed it out since she took it out.
Yeah, we took 19.5 out.
Where is it?
Well, it's
Up on the revenues,
it
miscellaneous.
should be B21
Yeah, B21.
C33,
or B21 in general.
Yeah, in the general ledger. There we go.
Oh, I took out the 21 and I took out the 8,000.
Or the 19,500, isn't it? You took, okay. You took out the 21,000 here, and then you also took out the revenue of 19,500.
Correct, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you leave the lap miscellaneous in and out?
no,
No, that got taken out.
Okay, we need to have a line for that in there, right?
there's a line in there.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's just not funded.
Okay, and then we need to have a line for tag miscellaneous in and out.
Can we have a lap and tag?
Yeah, tag, it doesn't matter, but I mean, yeah, maybe it's lap/tag. Yeah, because that's a grant now. We're gonna get $17,167.26.
And so it's kinky.
And then on the revenue, do the same thing, call it lap and tag,
Okay.
weed revenue.
Yeah, and you could put the amounts in there now. You know it. It doesn't matter.
Well, zeros is good.
Well,
as it
since
is.
it's, yeah, since all in and outs for zero, so.
Because we won't maximize it unless we maximize.
Right.
All right, that's all I have.
Okay.
Did we?
Well, on B2, it's just weed control. Do you want me to put weed control lap/tag?
No, that was the lap/tag was under the expenditures.
Yep, and that's where I did. But Ron said make sure that I put lap and tag on the revenue, but it's just weed control. Is that fine?
Isn't it lap and tag revenue too?
Right, it's lap and tag revenue also, yeah.
So under weed control, what she's got it listed here on, it should be the lap and tag for the revenue on this page. B2.
The naming.
Line 20C.
Isn't it moving anyway?
Well, it's in the general fund, yeah. Line 20C.
Yeah, is that the only revenue for the lap and tag, for the weed control?
I think it is.
Yeah, then it should be, that's,
Well, all weed control isn't lap and tag, is it?
But that's what this revenue is
All the
for.
revenue is? Okay, I'm just put lap and tag,
Okay.
lap/tag, whatever.
Perfect. Okay.
You know what, I forgot to look and see if there was a trickle charger on that battery. We'll look.
Bob was going to be here to talk about his budget. He said he'll be here about 3 or 3:30, and he's not here yet.
I think Ron talked to him and told him he didn't need to be here.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
good.
not about his budget. It was about that light pole in the corner over there.
Oh, I thought you guys wanted to speak with him about his budget too.
Because I talked to him, I told him all we were curious about was that light pole. if he had any better detail, and he didn't have any better detail, so I told him it was kind of pointless to come. He kind of thinks it's maybe not necessary, he's going, both me and Troy, but he was gonna get the information from Otter Tail, because he didn't have it either, what kind of folder he was gonna provide.
Okay.
Okay, where do you want to start on these budgets?
I got the information that you wanted for Bob's salary for 2014, what he made,
Oh,
and exactly what accounts they came out of.
that, yeah, that's just kind of secondary to what we're doing there, okay.
Samantha,
Yes.
we need somebody to put 100 gallons of fuel in that generator.
Are you busy?
You want me to do this?
I got a couple jugs in the back of the
Do we need to bid
Start
that?
hauling.
I just don't want to forget about it, because them guys are going to come and start up that generator. Can we just call 90 and have them do it, or what? Do we got to bid that?
No, we've got a fuel bid for something over.
Are we getting it from Arrowwood?
Our fuel? I think Arrowwood.
Okay,
Well, doesn't Edmund Motors come down there too? No?
Or do they just charge us when they're up
Or
there?
they just.
I think they just fill the
I
maintainer.
think whenever the road crew or the sheriff's up there,
So you want to call 90 and tell him to put 100 gallons of fuel in that generator, and he'll have to come and get the key from you to get in there?
Should they don't power service in it, so it's winter already then?
Well, it's probably a 300 gallon tank. I was just going to put, we're going to put number 1 in there.
You got 90's number?
I could have just texted him. I don't work here. $797, $78.37.
What did you say? 30.
Were you listening?
No, I'm sorry. 797, 30.
38, 79.
$78.37.
7837. Are we done with this? Are we still on the budget?
Yeah.
Okay. I also got that voucher that you guys wanted for the extension. So, you want to see that? Thank you. Is that correct information, John?
Well, what pay period is this for? When is this for?
That was for all of 2014. I tried to get that date. I wanted to see if that was the date, but Lord did do it for 2014, so it was.
So this is for 2 full months, all right? Did she start the first one?
I don't know.
Or was it just a partial one?
Can't remember. No, she started. She started the same day that Patty did.
They did.
Well, they want a jury trial too. They think they're right too.
No, that wasn't the same.
So, county agent.
I don't know when she started. I'm sorry.
See, I don't know if that's full May or if it was just a partial month.
Yeah, I cannot remember.
You want to go to the sheriff's budget? Is that where you want to go first?
It doesn't matter to me. This is,
I tagged all of the ones that need a motion.
yeah. that
If
would
you
be
want to
good.
do that.
Do I have a new one?
Nobody's got anyone.
Oh, no, it's a new one, okay.
No.
Well, then let's do the ones that need a motion.
Okay.
Get that straight out.
If you go to C6,
Okay,
On C6, that's the farm to market fund. Were we gonna wait till the end of the year and close that out?
is that what we're gonna do for that?
Well, I'm kind of asking John, because we're still we still got expenditures.
Right.
It's just every month, Wayne is charging.
Oh, right.
So I don't think we can do that.
No.
Okay, so this one needs to wait.
Yeah, I think we gotta wait there.
Okay. C14.
flood 2011. Can't do that, anything with that one either, can we?
Yeah.
We
Okay.
can or can't?
Can, we can move to reduce the 2015 budget to by $39,429.20
The expense,
Or, yeah,
expenditure.
I'll move to reduce the expenditure by that $39,429.28 down to $0 on the expenditure.
For the 2015.
Yeah.
Just,
I'll second the motion.
Been moved and seconded to reduce the flood 2011 expenditures in the budget by $39,249.28. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion passes.
sorry. Switch the page.
What's that?
Next page.
C50?
Yep.
Yeah. I move we reduce the 2009 flood budget.
2015.
No, but it's a flood 2009.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, you're right.
I move we reduce the flood 2009-2015 expenditure by $28,018.92, $28,018.92 to zero.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Ron. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. Sean?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries.
C16, when do we have that one highlighted on? Can you remember?
What's wrong?
Well, C16 also, we've got, on the county welfare board, we've got it highlighted at $332,000.
Well, as I recall, I think we've already transferred, haven't we, out of human services into the county welfare board, 161,000?
Right.
And they want us to transfer an additional 171,000, don't they?
I think so. I think they want.
Wait, and that would,
But that can't be done until the end of the year.
well, I think they're gonna need, they might not need it right away, but I think they're gonna need it to get through this year.
Right.
But, I don't know if it has to, they ought to come and request it, probably the same.
Well, it's a 321,000 out of human services and 11,000 out of human services.
And we did that out there, right? The commissioners approved that transfer?
A few of them, not this 321.
But we approved the 150 and the 11.
Right.
Yeah, and that's 161.
Yep.
And so the remainder is 171.
Correct.
And then we'll be up to the 322.
Correct.
So we've done 161 so far, and we've got 171 additional. I suppose we could transfer the remaining 171 from human services to county welfare board. Might as well, I guess, I don't know. Or we can wait.
I have it tagged and then a question mark, because I don't know
Yeah,
if you guys want to.
we already made the 332,000 inclusive. But I wasn't even sure if the commissioners had approved that 150 on the 11.
Mm-hmm.
We had,
Yep, they come up every meeting, or when they come up in a meeting.
Voucher, the.
Yep, it's a voucher.
oh, but we didn't really approve the transfer between the funds.
You approve the voucher that has the transfer.
Oh, okay. That's good.
So they'll request it.
No, you'll need another voucher then to for the transfer to the 171.
Okay, all right, so that's fine. We don't need to do it.
This is easy to do it in,
Okay.
buildings.
We said we're.
Then there's that human services, and then human services too that I have. Go to C20.
Emergency.
Yeah, and there we need to reduce the 2015 expenditure from 125 to 25,000.
I'll move to do that, to reduce the expense line in the emergency budget from 125,000 down to $25,000
For 2015.
for 2015 estimated expenditures.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by John. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor? John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carried. Okay.
E5.
Flood control.
And I'll move to reduce the flood control expenditure for 2015 by $6,076.
Moved by Ron to reduce the 2015 flood control budget expenditures by $6,076. Is there a second to motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. Sean? Aye. Ron? Aye. Dale?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. You keeping up there,
I am.
Sunshine?
I'm trying. I have Jamie looking into the library about the bookmobile and stuff like that, so he'll be looking into that.
Leave that way.
You did? Okay.
And it's somewhere in between what they're doing and what we think they can do, and I think they can probably, go on to something else, I'll pull that up here, show you what it is.
Okay, you guys asked me to redo the water management, and so I did that, so you guys will have a revised copy. If you would like to see my copy, you can, it's here. But basically, I worked it backwards.
Yeah, and so the approved amount is gonna be that 70,226.52.
Yeah.
So that can be over there on what we approved, I guess, now.
And this is on the,
Water board?
okay.
Sorry.
Got that one, no, you got,
You thought I was jumping on the library?
no, we've got, well, the water board is, there's some questions on that one too.
Oh, okay. Well, if you have questions, we better slow down.
Well, we had questions on whether or not they could have a checkbook and how that whole funding thing and the levy work for the water board.
She started in the
We've
beginning.
got that here.
She started in the beginning of May.
I read those two sections real quick. 25 was difficult reading.
It was what?
Difficult reading,
Yeah, kind of.
but 8 wasn't too bad.
So basically, the water board puts forth their expenses and they a budget to the auditor. They can have up to 4 mills. The auditor then brings it to the county commission. The county commission either denies it, amends it, and approves it, or approves it as submitted. And the water board then is responsible for their own checkbook. But the treasurer of the water board needs to have a detailed financial plan on end of June and end of the year to submit to the water board members an accounting of where they stand financially. And then in January, a detailed audit is supposed to be submitted to the county commissioners for their review as to the financial dealings of the water board. The money that we give them is basically for their operations. It isn't for digging ditches and things like that. Those are all supposed to be done by either assessments to the project or outside state funds or landowner participation. And those are all supposed to be done by a warrant system, basically. And then the water board is never supposed to expend monies, because once you expend monies and the project if it should happen to fall into the sewer, the taxpayers then are stuck for those costs. So each one of these funds is supposed to have each one of these accounts range is supposed to have its own separate fund and have a way to pay for that out of the either assessments or however they put it together. So the short answer is they can have their own checkbook and they can be in charge of their own finances, but in order to do that, they need to provide us, we have the oversight of that, they need to provide us with a more detailed accounting of what they're doing. And we looked at the treasurer's report and they've got $196,000 in their checking account right now. Of that, $22,000 and $23,000 is monies for 2 existing drains. That's monies to clean them, maintain them, and then $56,000 is owed to the water board for 2 ongoing projects, 3 ongoing projects. So in essence, they have $206,000 in their checking account. Now they're not subject to the same stipulations as another department. They can hold money, and it doesn't go against what we allocate them. Right. So we either approve their budget as they give it to us, we amend it and approve it, or we deny it. And those are the choices. I think it's that way, so we have some bargaining power with the water board as to how they're conducting business. So, and they have a 4 million limit.
And the levy's only for operations.
Basically, yeah. Basically, if they've got all kinds of other avenues for funding these drain projects. So they need to we don't know if they have these accounts set up. Each drain should have its own sinking fund or capital, whatever the capital building fund is. And we don't know if they've done that or not, so we need to check with them. But as far as them being in charge of a checkbook, that's the way it's set up to be. I mean, you could have some leverage. I mean, you could certainly say, okay, we're not going to give you any money because you've been not telling us what's going on, but we don't want to do that. So I think there just needs to be some more cooperation here.
We just gotta ask.
We have to ask, right? And then they're supposed to supply it to us once a year, a detailed audit. The problem, the real risk is that there's taxpayer dollars at risk, and that right now it is. And if this thing should fall through, the taxpayers are
Fund at the bill.
Yep. And also, the water board, they can issue bonds and their revenue bonds based on the revenue coming from an assessed rate. But they do not become the general obligation of Griggs County. It specifically states that the Griggs County does not guarantee those bonds. They have that with the water board or revenue bond on their own. So that's all I know about that one. So really what we're doing by granting
What's the
them
max on it? 2 mils?
4 mils.
4.
So basically, they, in a roundabout way, they ask for their expenses, they send them to Samantha, and now we just have to amend,
Or
approve or deny. And I guess we amended and haven't approved yet, but. So, whatever you guys want to do right now.
On that sheet that you have, Samantha, that's where you reduced the, in order to get that to work out, you reduced the expenses from 158,000 to
67,000.
68,358.64.
Okay. And you'll make, does Samantha need to make them aware of that change?
Well, their budget will be, I mean, our proposed budget will be public, and the outcome, they sent us, they wanted $470,000,
Yeah.
and they didn't itemize their expenses. They just put it in the expense line, so you could make them aware of it, you could send them.
I'll just send this
Yeah,
copy
They
to Jan.
would be good, just
That's
so
fine.
they're kept up to speed.
Absolutely.
Okay, so then for the library, and this is for after December 31st, 2015, because we're doing this for 16. Once it's been voted on to have a fund, the fund can be up to 4 mils. I thought it could only be up to 2 mils. So we voted on it, and they transferred. They used the 2 mils from the bookmobile to go to the library fund. We have the ability to okay that. Not using the bookmobile funds, but we have the ability to grant them up to 4 mils under the original vote.
Oh, I didn't know that, I guess.
Yeah.
I forgot, I thought the original vote was for 2 mils, but it wasn't?
No,
Okay.
no. This gives the authority gives them up. The authority get under 57-1506.7.
But wasn't the ballot initiative was 2 mils, wasn't it?
No, it never was. It was to either approve. It was just to approve the library fund being set up, and then once the library fund was set up, the county or the city or both could put in the equivalent.
there
of
wasn't a
4 mils.
specific
There wasn't.
mill.
No,
No.
it didn't give. It's just like the rest of them. It didn't give us. It didn't. It just had a maximum.
Right.
So in essence, they're probably okay doing what they're doing, even if the guy doesn't like it. Hang on here. Okay, a county levying tax to establish and maintain a public library service is provided for in section 403802 may levy a tax not exceeding 4 mils. And 403802 it what lays out how you go about it in the initial vote. And so we have the ability to give them up to 4 mils.
Even though it was called the bookmobile, it's still,
You
you can still just do
They-
4 mils on the library.
can do 4 mils on the library, the bookmobile thing is gone away.
Yeah.
The way I read it.
Might be. That's all the reason.
I think that's all I had on the budget.
So do we just need an answer on the, I mean, are we on the library now?
Yeah, on the library, and on the budget, yeah.
Right, what page is that?
D9?
No, I need help.
Ron, you did send me in a revised budget from them this morning, correct?
It's not, it hasn't been entered in here yet. Or you didn't. Yeah.
I haven't amended it into the spreadsheet quite yet either, so that'll be next week, but
So, yeah, they're asking for 72,593.24. That would equate to $18,148 mil.
Yeah, but that's the mill you gotta subtract Cooperstown out of.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You gotta take the Cooperstown portion of it.
Yeah,
So
and so that's way too,
it's too much.
They
You're not
won't
gonna
get that much.
And then you have to add, I mean, you have to add the 5% to it, so they're gonna get 5% less than that too.
So it'll be about 10,000 less or something, whatever. it
Yep.
comes out to.
So they need to adjust their expenditures accordingly then.
well, what I do in my maximum mill levy worksheet is I put like the limit of 4,
Yep.
put in their request, and it'll kick
Okay.
it off at
Okay.
4. So
Okay, yep, that's good. So the water board's good. Did we get a letter, Troy, from the city?
No.
Thus, the answer is option 3.
We didn't put that in there. Well, we should
We
have
just
put
said
non
Reply would,
constitute on option grade, but we didn't do that.
Well, that kind of goes without saying in my mind.
We should have put non-reply, signifies you want option 2. Then we would have had a reply.
And send it will with penalty.
Yeah.
Put the old reds past due it.
So how do we work the sheriff's budget when we don't know exactly what the city's?
Well,
Are we?
we're so close with these budgets, I think we should let her sit for a week till next meeting. Because if we don't hear from the city, we're gonna need, or somebody's gonna need to talk to Bob and tell him, you know what? Your revenue is gonna be down and we'd like your proposed budget based on that fact. Don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. It's just that when we do that and they get the proposed budget, we better be in a position where we can enforce his adherence to the budget. We've always seen how that goes.
Is there anything else on the budgets?
Doesn't make any sense at all. That his wages can be $56,000 and payroll deductions can be $30,000. That would be like 60% of his wage.
that's two 125s and stuff like that.
I don't know, it still can't be $32,000 out of 56. I mean, that'd be $88,000 total gross wages, and then 32,000 of it would be payroll deductions.
Ooh, I'm looking too.
Yeah. That'd be a pretty high percentage. Or maybe.
I'll look into it.
Yeah. Oh, no, never mind, I know why.
got it?
I got it.
351?
Huh?
351?
I got it. You're right.
Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Are there others?
I don't think so.
I saw some judgments entered here a month or two ago. They haven't asked for
I haven't
payment.
got anything here yet.
Huh?
I don't think we got anything on that.
No, I saw it.
I got it.
I just saw them. They got recorded.
Yeah. There's something up front there or something. When do we have, here we go.
We have to have the budget finalized. Absolutely last day is September 28th, so that I can get the ad in the paper by the 29th. Has to run for a week before your public hearing.
And the public hearing would be
October 9th.
October 9th.
So I would get it to the paper on the 29th. It would run in on the 2nd, and then your public hearing would be on the 9th.
And does it have to be after 6 p.m. or something?
Yeah. So thinking 6:30.
Okay.
The only other note I have here is on the information IT budget.
Oh yeah. Travis wasn't able to attend the meeting today. He said that we could call him if you'd like. Sorry. Thank you for reminding.
I forgot about that too. Martha told me that.
Would you like me to phone him or speak with him at the next meeting?
When's the next meeting?
You want him to try to make the next meeting? I hate putting that on the phone.
Yeah.
Just have him come next meeting?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
It still gives us a week, yeah, before you have.
Right.
So the key thing we're waiting for is the value of the mill. And when did you say you might get that?
They're hoping right at the end of next week.
Oh, okay, which is the 11th. That might work. Perfect.
Jamie, do you know what this Jamestown Community Corrections Program is?
Well, to me, it appears it's the community service stuff.
Do they monitor our?
They're supposed to monitor all the community service people. I don't know if Griggs County's ever participated in it before. I think the clerk of court has done it in the past. And the problem with that is that I've never seen like the community service ever gets done when it's done through the clerk of court. They're supposed to be the ones that set up the people that these other people go work with and monitor. They have a workers' comp insurance for the people that are doing the community service. I don't know what happens if they would get hurt, if they would be able to sue the county or sue whoever they're doing the community service for, if it's a thrift store or the city or whatever. So that's one thing I know we just happened up in Nelson County. The judges quit doing community service until we went through the other things up there because they were concerned about the workers' comp insurance for people. Other than that, I really don't know. I know that's when I was down in Jamestown, that's who they work through is through the community service or the community corrections. It's kind of a conflict for the state's attorney's office to keep track of it. And I don't know if it should be a responsibility for people to keep track of it, but find those people's jobs.
We don't run the court, and we don't impose sentences.
No, you're right.
And so I don't know how it's Griggs County's responsibility. I can't quite figure it out. That should be the southeastern.
Well, I didn't know I wasn't aware that they ever got charged before for that or had been paid for it. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I thought the reason the college was removed from that and the reason we joined into a district was so that we didn't have to handle all these.
I can do some checking and find out for you guys.
I tried to call them there on the number on that stationery and nobody else.
They're difficult to get a hold of, I think. I can do some checking for you guys. I've had
What page is that?
a busy week.
36 and 7. 35, 6 and 7.
Well, the only comment-
That is such a poorly written agreement that you can't even tell what you're buying.
Yeah, I don't, other than the workers' comp, I'm not really sure what you are buying. I didn't realize that the counties had to pay into that until I saw that contract. I thought that was paid for by their fees. They have to pay a fee to do community service. And I thought it was a state-run program, so I am not really sure.
I mean, it's not a huge amount of dollars,
Well, it's 25 or 2,600 bucks, just about 2,600 bucks a year, though.
but, no.
And there really aren't that many people like the community service. Like I said, the one,
Well, that was my next question, you know.
there, to be honest with you guys, there haven't been that many cases in Griggs County this year. I don't know what the deal is, but it's been really slow compared to years past. So I don't know if that's going to be a continuing trend or what.
Yeah, I talked to Bob a little bit. He didn't seem to care much one way or the other either. His only comment was that if it keeps someone out of jail for 10 days,
But
that's about paid for.
That's one thing. If I can do community service as an alternative to sending people to jail, it's what, $70 a day to send someone to jail, and it's $2,500 a month. So it'd take about 35 days to pay for this program.
So, but apparently there's not been that many people sent to jail, I guess.
Well, like I said, it's been a slow year this year. I've still been busy, but with all the rest of the stuff with the courthouse, but it's just been a slow year for criminal cases, really.
If we averaged sending someone 135 days a year, it'd be just a break-even deal possibly.
I don't know. I'd like to do some more checking on it and get a hold of them. And like I said, I thought that was a state-run program. I didn't know how long it took for.
Okay.
I know they said violators that have like minor in possession get to do community service in Cass County.
I've been,
You know that, huh?
Yeah, I do.
I've been sending more people to do community service up in Nelson County, but then they don't do it anyway, so it doesn't make a whole lot of difference. They end up in jail anyway.
Okay. Oh, you want to correct that voucher?
Yes, please.
Lori found a mathematical error on one of the vouchers we approved today. That one of those
Card member services.
card member services was off by 19 cents. Mickey had added 3 numbers up and got the wrong answer. So that voucher needs to be increased by 19 cents. From
350.11 to 350.30.
Yep.
So,
Second.
Been moved by Ron to approve the correction in the voucher amount for the card member services bill from the sheriff's department. Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
All right.
Ron?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. Okay. North Dakota Department of Ag weed letter. You guys all saw that in there? I got this stuff at home. The grant application is, or it's a grant award, it says. So, looks like the tag program, there's a cost share involved. So the $5,000 grant the county is responsible to put in $1,666.66. Yeah. And there's no match required on the LAP program, so that number is what it is.
So should the budget be revised to reflect that?
I don't know how much we'll use, so I don't think it needs to be because it's an in and out account anyway. Well, I guess the cost share part of it, the 1666.
Yep.
We gotta take a whack at it. Might not all get used.
It doesn't matter if carry over, so
Right.
we should put the expense of $1,666.66 on the expense side.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
You will revise the weed budget and add that $1,666.66.
She wasn't listening. Explain it, Troy. The LAP budget?
This program for the cost share, this tag program,
Okay.
okay, the state will provide $5,000
Okay.
and the county, in order to get that, has to provide 1666.66.
Okay.
So the weed budget needs to have a tag expense
Okay.
of 1666.66.
Yeah, I don't see anything in the century code that requires the county to pay those costs, and it's 20 pages long.
So right now I have a lab/TIG expense in there that has nothing. Now I need to put that TIG amount.
Now I split it up.
Now it's
I
tag
put lab,
only.
and then I put, and
Okay.
then tag, and then I put the expense on the tag.
Add-
Specific
add
to
line.
the
I didn't remember that part. And then there's, I don't know why they gave us two unless one's for, to keep and one's to send in.
You gotta do one for each?
One for each, but I got two of each one.
Oh.
So I think what we need to do is approve accepting these funds. Then I need to sign them. And Samantha can send them into the state. And then there's a requirements for the grant award here. There's a certification that we will agree to follow the rules.
I'll move we sign and return the notice of the grant award for the flap and TIG funds.
Been moved by Sean that we send in the grant acceptance forms for the LAP and TAG programs. Is there a second to the motion? Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Ron? Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carried. Now, on this certification, it says, I certify the, oh, okay, so this is me. And you kind of take care of these in the office, right?
Correct.
So this is the rule book for these grants.
Okay.
So you want to take a gander at that?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And these are duplicates of the forms. I signed 2 of them.
And then I
Okay.
have to send these in.
Those 3 things, the signed acceptance forms. You can write right on the envelope if you want to. And then that certification that will play by the rules. Okay, old courthouse, new courthouse.
I'm gonna ask you guys to go into executive session for about 5 minutes.
There's some other things on it too, if we can go into the executive session first and cover these.
Whatever you guys want to do first.
Should go through the other stuff first and then do executive session at the end. And I'll go and
Was
the
that-
recorder while you guys do your stuff.
Okay.
We gotta come back in regular session anyway.
Yep. Okay. I talked to Interstate Diesel in Grand Forks today, and they will come and do the startup for that generator at our request. I will probably just have Bergstrom Electric set that up and have them do that. I think they want to come back and be there when they do that. So I'll just get out of the loop probably, but Samantha's gonna get some fuel in that generator, and they indicated to me that it'd be about $850 for them to come up here. They figure it's gonna take, between travel and time on site, it's gonna be about a day. So,
And will the electrical inspector be there to completely sign off and say we're,
probably not on that same day.
oh, is that right?
I would think so.
Okay. But they're scheduling that too though, right?
That's their responsibility.
Yeah, so hopefully.
They need to send the state electrical board a completed certificate, and then they'll schedule an inspection.
So that's probably underway, I suppose.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
if it's like, I don't know, maybe these commercial ones are different, but sometimes the electrical inspector doesn't show up for a year and a half. You know, I don't know. And then there's gonna have to be some training on the emergency systems in there, and I don't know when that will happen. But the water for the sprinklers and stuff it's not even charged, so.
Mm. So whose responsibility is it to charge it then?
Well, if whoever turns the valve on.
Oh, okay. That's all you have to, it's
I
been
think-
tested and everything.
Well, I think it's been pressure tested, but it hasn't been turned on.
Oh,
Okay, that's all I have, I think, on the courthouse.
okay. I think we have 3 bids.
I do.
Oh,
On the landscape, rock,
around the EOC.
yeah.
All right.
No, this includes all the black dirt and the aggregate,
Yeah, and the fabric.
planting grass.
No, not planting grass.
You're gonna do that?
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. We have a bid from A&A Landscaping.
Okay.
Do you want to just keep it on?
3,300 square feet of landscape fabric, $550. 65 yards of 1-inch rock, $2,907 with sales tax. Labor to install rock and fabric, $4,000. 3 loads of black dirt, $570. Total $8,027.45.
We have Z's trees.
$22,400.
And this is Lee's Repair, which didn't get on a bid form. Does that matter?
Who is it?
Lee's Repairs?
Where's that?
Gilbertson's.
Oh,
Lee Gilbertson.
I don't even know how we heard about the job.
Is that not it? Or is that for the other thing?
It's for a retriever.
I saw the 8,000. I'm like, well, it's
Well, we got two.
they gave it to me, and I'm like, okay.
right in the ballpark.
As I was looking at it, I'm like, well, maybe not.
We should call up and award him the bid.
I'm sorry.
Well, we can use that retriever to get us ready for the black dirt.
Wow. See, I got pretty scared over here for a reason. That you guys didn't know who Lee's was.
Well, I just didn't know that they went from gravel and roads to gravel and parking lots.
That's what kids are about.
Okay, so we only got 2.
So, I don't know, the next step, I mean, they're the A and A at the moment. I suppose we ought to sit down and talk to them and make sure they've got everything.
Yeah.
Especially the excavations, because it's quite a difference in price, obviously. So just, I guess we can bring them down here and just walk through the job and just tell them you gotta excavate here and get it down to 6. Put the 6 inches in and 6 inches of black dirt and the fabric. And if they keep saying, yeah, they got it all, then they get it done. But just a pre-award meeting that I suggest for next week sometime, as early as possible, Tuesday. And I guess me and John could just attend most likely. Okay, sorry.
We'll talk to him.
Motion to that effect?
We got some,
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that A&A be awarded the contract to complete the site work on the EOC Center, contingent on the
pre-award meeting.
pre-award, post-award meeting, pre-award meeting, post-award.
Well, it's before we award them the contract.
Pre-award meeting, which John and Ron will attend, just to make sure that everything is bid apples to apples. Any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries.
Yeah, Scott Frederickson, he was out there this afternoon. He installed that door now.
Oh, he did put it in?
Yeah.
While we were up here?
Yeah, while we were up here, he stuck it in. I'm sure we were having to address the key and all, but we'll have to do that sometime, I guess, just to make sure it's keyed to Bob's satisfaction, I guess. And then also, I guess, with your office, just how you want it. I imagine you want you and your secretary, maybe you want keys to each other's office or what kind
Yeah.
of, just you'll have to tell us.
I think that would be fine.
Well, that's Bob's door anyway.
Yeah, I didn't have them, and that's what, probably the simplest thing to do, and I didn't have Scott do that. I could have them take the lock off of your door and stick it on Bob's new door. And then we could probably key, I think the lock that's arrived wasn't keyed to anything special.
Okay. That would work, whatever it is.
Yeah, so,
That works.
yeah, and I guess not, you know, it really could be, your old state's attorney's office, that was probably keyed just for you. I guess, I don't know, would it make any sense to move that lock down there? It probably wouldn't simplify things any at all, so, yeah, might as well just get it keyed, though, you and your secretaries, so your secretary will be able to get into your office. If that's acceptable to you.
Where does the furniture come from for that office?
For your office?
Yeah, the bank furniture went with the bank building, didn't it?
Yep. It'll have to be from downstairs. From the old state's attorney's office.
Somebody's gonna have to do an inventory at some point in time. Figure out what we're doing over there. But
He was looking at you, Samantha.
I think that's not.
Oh, I have the department heads do their own inventory for their office, and then I give it to the bank.
Yeah, there's a bunch of desks and all, I mean, there's many extra desks in it.
so, okay. Anything else?
No, the
Courthouse?
concrete work seems to be done. I think they finished it today.
They did. They were just brooming it out when I walked in here.
Okay, good.
They were pretty damn lucky they didn't get 2 inches of rain on their head.
Yeah.
AARON.
Was that forecast 2 inches of rain?
No, but
It poured in Carrington.
Poured up in the Colorado too.
We did it for here for a little bit.
yeah, they got wet when they were dumping the concrete out, but it wasn't enough to bother.
Good.
I hope.
Yeah.
Be nice to have that all orange peeled right away.
Well, as long as it wasn't finished when everybody.
It wasn't. No. It's fine. They were still floating it when I drove up.
Do we have those bids?
Oh, did I give them John's got them? Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Nothing else?
Bob's still not here. That stuff for the light.
We're not going to do a light.
Okay.
Bob's recommendation was there's so
Oh,
much
that's right.
there's so much light out in front of that building now. There's what is there? There's 10 pedestal lights and 2 floodlights out in front of that building.
I'm good going, let's put a welding helmet on me.
Let's give a criminal a chance.
Huh?
Let's give a criminal a chance now. It's got like a catch and release program. You gotta give him a little bit of chance to
Run to the corner.
run into the light.
Motion to go into executive session.
I'll move. Do we have to adjourn this meeting?
Cool.
We have to come back.
No, we're back to it.
Yeah, we're back here.
So just go into
We want
make a
to
motion.
adjourn.
I'll move, we go to executive session. If that's right.
We have to recess this meeting.
We'll recess this meeting and go into executive session.
I'll move, we recess this meeting and go to executive session. There you go.
Okay. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Meeting. Call the meeting back to order.
Normally do 1-5. I got a pair, maybe I won't wreck.
John's gonna wreck them for you.
What's that? That's pretty cool.
Where'd you get those at? Okay, anything else on new courthouse, old courthouse? Or anything else on the agenda?
The only thing on the new courthouse is we need to probably maximize that grant, or try to if we can.
I think so. You're gonna work on that?
We got a pretty good grip.
Yeah, I think we do.
Sounds like you already have most of that stuff put together at one time, huh?
I think so, yeah, we just have to add up some numbers.
Well, I think now with this 8,000, depending on what Bergstrom's, I was thinking Bergstrom's gonna charge us about 18,000 when it's all done, but no.
No, I talked to the guy, and he said our bid is good.
Oh,
I'm really surprised. I thought there was a bunch of extra charges, but he said, yeah, that quote we gave you for, he thought it was for 6,000. He said, yeah, that took care of
well,
it.
so then would come in right at about 90,000. I think.
Yeah, then we're gonna be short.
Yeah, and 90, and our share of it's gonna be, our share of it is gonna, I mean, then we're only gonna maximize about, what, $67,000 of it there.
Something along there. 'Cause I think TJ, well, maybe TJ's just gonna charge him.
67.5. How much was left? Was there 90 left? We had to spend 120 to get the 90.
Yeah, about 120, I think.
You had to spend, yeah.
Yeah, that we had to spend.
And that would give us the 90. So we're gonna be about $23,000 short of maximizing the grant.
Okay, you added the 48 and the 25.
Yeah, I did. I did 12 for Schultz,
Okay.
48 for 25, 6, and that's 91.
You had A&A landscaping?
Yeah, that was no,
8,000.
that was 8. I didn't do 8. That's 100. So 75. So then we're a little bit short.
Okay.
Well, we could, you know, I hate to, we could buy like a large size tractor. I mean, mower tractor, snow blower on it, and get bids on that, and then that would be something that it could be used. You know, we're not going to take pictures of it. You know, if you're mowing the yard, and that's something we're going to have to buy eventually again anyway. That's an expense of the county to get buy mowing equipment for the, and so we could get by, you know, spending 25% of it, and
It's something that
more.
you have to get bids on, so that should probably go, probably be some
Yeah,
business that you
that's.
have to do today and get bids on it and figure out.
Okay,
what
you
size.
know, but it's just a matter of 3 bids, and if we decide on a John Deere tractor, we can take in 3 different John Deere dealers. And
Would we have to advertise though?
Yeah, you would.
would we?
I would think so, yeah. So I would,
Oh, really?
For equipment, I mean, we're only talking something probably $15,000-$16,000.
well, from that stuff with Debbie Lacombe, I would try and get bids on it.
Okay. Well, we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's just sit down next week on it. Let's go.
Yes.
And just figure out where we're at.
Yeah, because if we get the advertisement in the paper on the earliest would be the 14th.
Yeah. Well, let's just get together Monday
Yeah.
and do it. I'll just come to town.
Okay, that sounds good. Then I'll try to set up with landscaping to A&A.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn.
Got moved by Ron to adjourn. Is there a second? Second by Dale. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carries.
Thank you.
Meeting adjourned. At 5 o'clock.
Next meeting is September 18th.
Next meeting is September 18th at 1 p.m.